It's week 5 of the Indiana high school football season, and tonight on the ISC Sports Network, it is the Stars of Western Boone who come in with an overall record of 2-2, taking on the Chargers of North Montgomery, who are looking for their first win of the season. Tonight's coverage brought to you by Tipmont, superfast fiber internet now available in Montgomery County. Get started today at join.wintech.com. Alongside our analyst tonight, the former offensive lineman at Cathedral and Northwestern, and current Memphis showboat, Jared Thomas. My name is Rick Johnson, and Jared, we are halfway through the 2025 season. This thing has gone by in the blink of an eye.
I can't believe that we just did a game to start and kick off the 2025 high school season, and now we're already at the midway point. So I don't know if there's any type of foreshadowing to how we're going to work with each other, but to start, the middle, and potentially the finish. But excited for tonight's matchup.
Let's talk about the 2-2 Stars. They're under the direction of Justin Pelly, and they tried to break the scoreboard last week at home, playing a Greencastle team that had not seen their flexbone option offense before, and all they did is they broke the school record, 176-34.
And I wouldn't expect any other response from Coach Justin Pelly, saying Greencastle just hadn't seen our offense before, elating a lot of the success to that unfamiliarity that was there for that matchup between the two teams. But that's a team in the Stars with Coach Pelly at the controls that are really looking to get back in the winning train, starting the season 0-2, and now getting back to their winning ways with 2 victories in the last consecutive weeks. So they're just looking to establish the run with a young team. You go on the road in a ruckus environment, so I know he's eager to see how his team responds tonight.
Yeah, played 2 really high-quality opponents to start the year off, or back into more familiar play now in Monon Conference play with the first year of that conference in his existence. They get the Chargers of North Montgomery. They're 0-4. They gave up 63 points to a really, really highly touted Cascade team, and we talked about it on the ground. School record points for Western Boone. They rushed for over 500 yards last week, while North Montgomery gave up over 300 yards on the ground to the Cadets.
And something that we see with so many teams at this level of football is a lot of guys going both ways, playing offense and defense. And I truly feel that the Charging Chargers is sometimes are succumb to guys being tired and then just being outnumbered when it comes to roster size and what they have available to them in personnel. So excited to see what Coach Thompson and his group do tonight.
You look at things tonight, North Montgomery, the Chargers in the home orange and navy tonight here on the natural grass surface as they take on Western Boone tonight. The Stars 2-2 overall. Again, they defeated Greencastle last Friday. North Montgomery fell to Cascade. Let's take a look at Jared's keys to victories, brought to you tonight by Wintech.
For the home team, it stopped the run. Jacob Smith for the Stars just went for over 300 yards a week ago against Greencastle. And this defense for the Charging Chargers, they haven't shown that they can stop the run, giving up almost 280 yards on the ground, back-to-back games giving up 300 yards. So they're going to have to be on high alert anytime Smith is in the backfield. Protect the secondary for the Stars. One of the holes that Coach Pelly feels that he has on his team is in the secondary, and this is a capable passing team, the Charging Chargers are. And then the environment, one thing that Coach Pelly talked about, this is a tough environment. Good teams have come into this environment and not played well, so he wants his team to match the intensity of the home squad and see what they do after 4 quarters. Yeah,
Coach Pelly made it known to us in our conversation this week. He said North Montgomery knows what we do and they know what we like to do. So he's expecting a tough bout tonight here against the Charging Chargers. Last year was all Western Boone as North Montgomery kicks it off, and we're underway here on the natural grass surface. Western Boone taken by Jack Mallory, who you'll see on both sides of the ball tonight. He gets a nice kickoff return out near midfield. Bumped out of bounds by Caden Cohey. A good starting position here for the Stars.
But something you said, Western Boone took last year's matchup. That's actually something they've done in the past 10 years. They really dominated this matchup and what they've done in this game. So I know that North Montgomery is looking to change that tide a little bit here tonight.
1st and 10 for Western Boone. You'll see both quarterbacks running the option tonight here for the Stars. Here's Brennan Kopriva, their starter. Handoff to the aforementioned Jacob Smith, who played on both sides of the ball in week number 1. They said it tired him out, and all he's done is he rushed for 330 last week, like you mentioned, Jared. He was unstoppable.
That's exactly right. Somebody that was the +1 to Mason Amick, that was the star running back a season ago, and someone that, like you said, started on defensive line, saw what he could do for the Stars, took him off the defensive line, and Coach Pelly said there is no secret. We are going to run the football.
7-yard gain for Smith. And the flex bone look as you see a wing back coming in with Western Boone opening possession of the game already in North Montgomery territory. Smith slithering his way up, gets out to the 40-yard line. Tackle on the play by Noah Fiddler, the backup DN, is going to look at the Western Boone starters, and it all starts with 33 in white.
That's exactly right. He is the workhorse, someone that Coach Pelly says he can handle that workload, especially now that he is off of the defense. And then Dylan Sheets in that wing position, going to look for him to be a receiver down the field. And then that offensive line, bigger group than you normally see for this type of offense, but they're excited to potentially allow them to do some work getting downhill in their run game stuff.
Still Kopriva, the starting quarterback. We will see Quinn Westerfeld, that's number 11, out running tonight. Play action pass going deep. First pass of the ball game, and it goes right off the face of Dylan Sheets. And all he did last week, Jared, was he caught 3 balls for 3 touchdowns to the tune of 69, 25, and 41 yards. And that's what this North Montgomery defense got to try to slow down tonight.
And a nice job there by Zach Craig. Didn't necessarily see the ball, but didn't interfere with the receiver Sheets as he was going for it. Got a hand up in his eyesight and was able to make a play on the football. Once again, you see all of those starters. A lot of guys that are going to have to rally to the football, especially when you see 33 in white in the backfield.
Lincoln Hyde, number 7, pacing the way with 30 tackles on the year. Another give to Smith. He towed to the rock 26 times last week, and he bowling balls his way out inside the 30-yard line. Finally stopped by Hunter Powell, but Smith picking up right where he left off last week.
As you can see, the offensive line gets a charge, and that ball is hitting that line of scrimmage so quickly. It's tough when you run this type of offense that offensive linemen are up to the second level very quickly. So that defense for the Chargers are going to have to be on high alert and squeezing down as much as they can when they see those offensive linemen get the things going.
Last week, as we mentioned, Western Boone broke the single-game scoring record with 76 points, a record that was held since 1998 when they put 70 on Monrovia. Still Kopriva under center. Tight formation here out of the flex bone. Smith dances his way through into the second level, bumps into another man still on his feet. Smith looking for the end zone, and he finds it. Breaks the tackle of Payson Frazier, and Smith finds Paydirt from 29 yards out.
Two of the things that Coach Pelly talked about in our conversation with him when it came to Jacob Smith was his improved speed, and it's being difficult for the defense to bring him down. And we see both of those things. Missed tackles by the defense, breaking tackles, and then just showing pure grit to run past everyone, being bigger and stronger. Took a funky finish, but not before he crossed the goal line for the score for his star teammates.
His 11th rushing touchdown of the season, his 6th in the last game plus. He found Paydirt 5 times last week. Extra point is up and good. The normal kicker is Ben Fortner, number 36, a new kicker out there for Western Boone, as Isaac Threkheld able to pop that one through here for the Stars. So the Stars go 5 plays, 53 yards, and it was a lot of Jacob Smith, who's been really, really good the last game plus. And so now we'll see what the North Montgomery offense can do. They found themselves down early last week to Cascade. We're able to try to get back into it a little bit, but then Cascade really blew it open in that second half.
Well, you have to be encouraged if you're North Montgomery. What you just saw on that offensive possession from the Stars really isn't going to change. A lot of Jacob Smith workload, the occasional pass down the field. If you can find a way to stop that workhorse coming out of the backfield, I'm sure Coach Thompson likes his chances.
Back to receive the kickoff for the Chargers.
Dakota Glasson, one of the deep men for North Montgomery. Clayton Brown, keep your eyes on him, 2 in orange. He had a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown last week. Jared mentioned earlier the dominance of Western Boone in this series over the last couple of years. The Stars have won 9 of the last 11 matchups. The only 2 North Montgomery wins was when they took the regular season and playoff win back in 2023. Glasson drops it, picks back up, and he is smothered immediately by a couple of different Stars. First one through Kane Reed, one of the starters on the Western Boone defense. And it's Jack Warren at the controls here for North Montgomery, completing just 47% of his passes this season, but he has thrown for 6 touchdowns.
And just a week ago against Cascade was 8 for 22, so not tearing the defense up with his precision or the completion percentage, but passed for over 200 yards, and then also had an interception this season on the defensive side of things. So that is a guy that is a leader on both sides of the football for his North Montgomery bunch.
Warren empty set with 5 wide receivers. He can run and will tuck it and run here, trying to get to the outside. Could not run through the arm tackle of Malachi Christie, the starting corner. But a nice carry there for Jack Warren, who does have now 43 rushes on the season. Here's a look at the starting defense for Western Boone.
Xander Venus is a guy that a game I got to cover from him last year. He was someone that they had to really be keyed in on. In a different defense this year, went from 3 down to 4 down, production down just a little bit, but I'm assuming he's just getting still comfortable in this new system, so look for him to be a wrecking ball in the middle.
Yeah, new defensive coordinator Andrew Rodriguez, direct snap to the design run to Jack Warren. Straight up the middle, runs into the arms of David Puckett along with a couple other stars with Carson Nicely. But nice first 2 plays with Warren calls number first down for the Chargers.
One of those other defenders for the Stars being Xander Venus took on the back block from the center, and strong enough, as you can see, his build number 50 in white, strong enough to shed the offensive lineman and make the tackle.
The slot back Dakota Glasson walks into the backfield here with Warren. Now walks a little bit forward. It's been 2 straight runs for Warren on a first down. He tries to tuck and run again and gets smacked hard from behind by Nicely. Second straight tackle for the outside linebacker, but still positive yardage on first down for North Montgomery.
It's a normal thing for a quarterback. Looks at his first read, and then he starts to feel the pressure of the pocket starting to collapsing. Instead of standing in there, he decided to take off and run, maybe something that his coaches have encouraged him to do against this formidable Stars team.
4-yard pickup, so makes it 2nd down and 6. Tyler Thompson, the slot back motion man. Warren, option, fakes the pitch. Nice juke in the backfield, but couldn't get away from that second defender on the defensive end, and it was Puckett again that finished off the tackle. The first one in there was that defensive end made for him, but a nice open field tackle for Western Boone, excuse me. That was number 23, Jack Mallory.
Puckett being one of those fringe guys that Justin Pelly said this past summer, and he said now we can't even get him off the field as the defensive lineman is constantly contributing, and just found a nice role for himself.
Glasson, Thompson, and Brown, the cluster of receivers at the bottom of your screen. It's 3rd down and 4, and another design run here by Warren. Straight up the middle, will be short of the line to gain. He got to the 40, and a whole mess of guys pushing back. Levi Atkins, one of the first ones in there for the Stars. Now a decision here for the offense.
The Chargers showing their apprehension for not wanting to pass the ball past the level of comfort that they have for their receivers going downfield. So putting the ball into the hands of their quarterback in Jack Warren, hopefully they find a way to attack this team in the air, as we've already talked about being a weakness for the Western Boone Stars.
Warren passed for 212 yards last week. His favorite target is back to take the punt here in Clayton Brown, averaging just over 37 yards per boot, and he bombs this one deep. And it'll be taken by Malachi Christie. Tries to twist his way, and he'll get a short gain, a short return to the 25. So a really nice punt there for Clayton Brown to pin Western Boone deep.
That was a nice kick from Brown there. Once again, these guys on both squads, you have to just share the responsibility of what the team needs. A lot of guys going both ways. You don't have the depth as some of the bigger schools in the state, and so a natural byproduct of that is you get comfortable being uncomfortable in new positions, and you find yourself reaping some nice results.
Kopriva, the starting quarterback, still out there. We will see Westerfeld with his design package of plays for the Stars offense. Same as before, more hands-offs for Jacob Smith, and a hard charging run as Lincoln Hyde, one of the first ones to take him down, along with the help of Fiddler again.
Part of the reason why Weibo can get the football into Jacob Smith's hands getting downhill so quickly is just the backfield alignment. He's almost in that I formation fullback alignment just behind the quarterback, so by the time Kopriva turns around, he's already ready to hit the hole with some veracity.
Out of the 12 drives last week for the Stars, they scored on 11 of them. The only time they didn't score was when they intentionally turned it over on downs in the final minute of regulation. Here's our second drive of the game. First design run up the middle from Kopriva, and he catches North Montgomery napping. He gets the line to gain out to the 36. That's a first down.
And the tough part when you're going against the Stars offensively is you're so keyed in on Jacob Smith, but you forget Kopriva is the second leading rusher on this team, just over 120 yards rushing coming into tonight's contest. So you have to be keyed in on not just Smith, but also the quarterback at the controls for this offense.
87 yards on the ground last week for the senior Kopriva. 2 rushing touchdowns that both came in the second half. He's under center here, drops straight back. Second pass line has got a wide open man down the near sideline. It's Bo Sawyer, and he will be untouched for a long, long touchdown for Sawyer. His second grab of the year, or touchdown grab of the year, and Western Boone extends the lead.
There's only one guy behind Dylan Sheets that gets as much attention going down the field. But this play was made by Kopriva. Look at him, look out to Dylan, and the defense attracts themselves to Dylan, and then Bo Sawyer is able to take the top off of the defense, the second leading receiver going into tonight's contest, and now he's flirting with being the #1 receiver with that long touchdown pass.
64 yards for Sawyer, more than 3 times as long as his previous longest run of the year. Extra point up by Isaac Threkeld, up and through once again. And Western Boone, halfway through this opening quarter, Jared, they lead 14-0. They have now scored on 13 of their last 14 drives.
And it's a simple formula. We're going to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and then the occasional pass. You saw the shot down the field on the first drive. Wasn't able to connect with Dylan Sheets. This time able to connect with Bo Sawyer. All of it looks the same because the scoreboard says 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Tonight's game brought to you by Tipmont Wintech. Tipmont is a proud supporter of high school athletics. Learn more about our super fast fiber internet from Tipmont at join.wintech.com. And we thank Tipmont for their support tonight. And if you like our coverage of tonight's high school football game between Western Boone and North Montgomery, please reach out to the folks at Wintech Tipmont and let them know that you like high school football coverage and high school sports coverage in your area. So Threkeld back to kick once again. Again, the normal starter's Ben Fortner, who was 10 of 11 and broke 5 school records last week in the kicking game. But we have not seen 36 in white yet here tonight. The converted soccer player wanted to come over and kick for the football team. Can't do both at Western Boone. So his final year is going to be on the football field. Dakota Glasson with the kickoff return out across the 35-yard line as North Montgomery trying to find something to get their offense going here.
It's interesting, Rick, that high schools are encouraging kids that you cannot do both. Something that I thought would actually be of benefit to numerous kids, being a 2-sport athlete myself. Not sure what those rules are in place, but that was interesting when we talked about that not too long ago.
Yeah, Coach Pelly said they're one of the few schools in the state that doesn't allow essentially the players to double dip. You know, you've heard a lot of stories of the guy or the gal kicks on Friday, then they've got a soccer match on Saturday. Yeah. So instead of going and playing on the JV football game, they got, the worldwide football to go take care of. Handoff. This is Glasson. Once the outside runs through a face mask, it's spun out of bounds by Christie, but that'll be a free 15. But down to the play, Clayton Brown. You see there 2 in orange, and that's a tough one if you're the North Montgomery offense. He's your top wideout.
Just a sophomore, Clayton Brown is, as you said, leading that receiving core. Hope he's okay. North Montgomery going to need some other guys to step up in that department. Hunter Powell is someone that comes to mind. Eli Peebles, both have touchdown catches on the season. If they expect to make some noise offensively, if Clayton Brown is out for an extended period of time.
Here's another look at that play. You'll see Brown at the bottom of your screen kind of come up and get the block. Takes that spill, then Christie gets whistled for the face mask, and that'll be a free 15 yards. And so move the ball for North Montgomery. First time in Western Boone territory tonight at the Star 44. Second time with the ball here for the Charging Chargers to come in 0-4 on the year. Warren back to pass. Pressures right there. Gets through the initial man, but does not get away from Puckett and his mates. Maverick Krause, 13 in white, will get another sack. He's the leading sack man on the Stars defense.
That's my guy, Xander Venus, in there again, rushing from an A-gap position on the defensive line and just staying persistent once again. Barreling down the pike right there. You see him gets rid of the offensive lineman as the quarterback steps up in the pocket. Nowhere to go except into the arms of Mr. Venus. The junior doing a nice job to start this game.
6 feet, 250-pounder. Gets his credit for his first half sack of the year. It'll be 2nd down and 11 after a loss of 1. Faking the jet sweep is Warren. He plows his way forward for a gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and still long here for North Montgomery.
I sure do hope this is a play for North Montgomery that they potentially come back to, because Caden Cohey was wide open, unaccounted for on the end around, something that they may be able to exploit on this Western Boone defense. As you get going in the flow of the game as an offensive coordinator, those are plays that you want to circle and come back to.
3rd and 8, Warren going deep down the near side and leads his man too far. Good to see Clayton Brown back out there for North Montgomery. Christie was in coverage. It'll be 4th down and 8 as North Montgomery roll the dice here in Western Boone territory.
For those watching, you see Jack Warren being the 3-sport athlete, baseball being one of them. You see how the ball just pops out of his hands, finding or trying to find Clayton Brown down the field, unable to connect, but something that you know you have in your arsenal as the game goes on, that you can air it out if need be.
Warren has had 3 punts this year, but he'll take the 4th down snap. Pressure in his face from Venus. Climbs, throws it across the middle. Tapped and intercepted by Malachi Christie. And a pick from Christie, his first interception of the year, and Western Boone gets the first takeaway of the night.
And a series of firsts, as you've already alluded to, Rick. Malachi Christie all over the field, got a penalty. He's in the way, making tackles, covering guys down the field, and he does a first for this Western Boone defense this year, and that's force an interception. The offense has thrown 3, and the defense has recovered 9 fumbles, but they haven't gotten an interception, and why not? No better time than the present. Nice job by the men in white, forcing the turnover on 4th down.
4:27 left to go here in the opening quarter. 3rd possession of the night for the Stars. It's been a healthy dose of Smith, and if some is good, more is better, as the big man just rumbling through orange jersey defenders. Lane Barnett tackles him from behind, but Smith back out near midfield once again. That's a 10-plus yard run on 1st down.
And it's not so much the size and height and stature for Jacob Smith. It's the 215-pound guy rumbling out of the backfield, and you can see the mismatch with this North Montgomery bunch trying to just get him down, but his size just being too much for them to handle on that run.
15-yard romp for Smith, who on his 4 of his 5 touchdowns came in the first half last week, eclipsed 100 yards a week ago. Faking the pitch, Kopriva, deep bomb down the middle, trying to come back to get it was McLean, and the underthrown ball broken up by the defensive back Eli Peebles. The corner prevented a big play there for the North Montgomery defense.
That's an outstanding job. They did a nice job on the fake end around, split the safeties, and then you see Peebles just continuing to stay in phase, doesn't make contact prematurely, but waits until the ball is there and then makes a play on the football. That was textbook by number 84.
6-foot-tall junior, able to deflect that away from the 5'6" McLean. 2nd down and 10. Pressure up the middle. Smith doesn't care. Has actually been Kopriva keeping himself on the option keeper, and the quarterback boogies his way around the end into North Montgomery territory, and a 1st down for the Stars.
It's like playing 2 men on the hardwood. The guys in the backfield, quarterback, running back, playing off of each other. The charging Chargers sent a blitz from the linebacker position, but the only unfortunate part is Smith didn't have the football. That's that other guy in that 2-man game in Kopriva making you pay with his legs.
An 11-yard gain here for the quarterback, Kopriva. We thought we would see both quarterbacks, but it's been the senior Brennan, the right-hander. He's been at the sticks here early on. Flag on the play as they wanted to give Smith some more opportunities to eat. And offside on the offense. So we'll move them back 5 yards back to the 47. That's the first misstep we've seen here from Western Boone this evening. A bevy of 10-plus yard plays for Western Boone here in this first quarter that has 3 minutes left in it. Remember, as we mentioned, they scored on 11 of 12 drives last week. They're 2 for 2 here tonight. This is the backup quarterback, Quinn Westerfeld, and a little bit of a miscommunication as he got kind of caught up trying to hand the ball to Smith, and the problem is he didn't let go of the ball.
The 2-quarterback system, something that Coach Pelly said they've really just kind of organically rolled with. One guy brings a game manager feel, and that's Kopriva. The other guy being dynamic with his legs, and that's Westerfeld. So just a nice job by them, figuring out what works for them, even though it may seem unconventional to others. If it works for you, then why not roll with it?
No gain, 2nd and 15. Slight movement on the right side as Kopriva back in there under center. That was Malachi Christie, who had a little bit of a bobble. So 2 penalties here on the Stars, move them back into their territory. Again, the first time they've had a real misstep here in the first quarter so far.
A polarizing start from Malachi Christie. 2 penalties, but also an explosive game-changing play. It seems like he's got his emotions all over the place, channeling them the right way on some plays, not so much the other ones.
2nd down and 25. Smith, the give. A couple of different folks in orange holding on for dear life to the big fella. He gets across midfield. Finally shoved down by Colin Zachary, taking the pile down, but now it's 3rd and a bunch here for Western Boone.
One of the guys trying to get Jacob Smith down was Gage Taylor, the senior, 6'4", 250 pounds. He struggled himself getting Smith down to the ground. Just shows you the strength that Smith has, but all that aside, a wonderful opportunity by this Charging Chargers defense to potentially get off the field in a 3rd and long situation.
3rd and 15. Kopriva in the gun with 4 wide. Fakes the handoff to Smith. Smith in protection. Here comes the rush from North Montgomery. Kopriva looking for help. Has a man right in his face. Throws it up, and it is tapped around and incomplete. Sawyer was there, but it hit the natural grass surface. There were a couple of different guys down there. Peebles was one of the ones in there. That's a 4th down.
Kopriva almost had a fadeaway jumper to go down for him as the play broke down, trying to get it to wing, and linebacker Levi Atkins. Atkins was backing up, trying to go up with that one, but Kopriva just doing a nice job improvising as the rush continued to pursue him. Not able to connect, but an admirable effort on that 3rd down attempt.
Sawyer to punt, averaging just about 38 yards per boot this year. Dakota Glasson, the deep man for the Charging Chargers, waves for the fair catch and makes it at his own 20-yard line. So North Montgomery's defense able to get the punt there, and now the question is, can the offense kind of take this and roll it on their side of the ball here?
They have to figure out a way to establish the run game. We haven't seen much from running back Glasson, Dakota Glasson coming out of the backfield, but he is the guy that leads them in that run game department. So maybe handing it off to him will ease some of the pressure that Warren is feeling when he drops back trying to find receivers down the field.
Warren keeps Glasson in the backfield with him. 4-man front for the Stars defense. It's North Montgomery, a punt and an interception on the first 2 drives. Warren moves the pocket. Nice diving catch. Coming back to get it is Brown, and he makes it to the 29-yard line with Christie all on his back. But Brown slow to get back up again.
Move the pocket, move the launching point for the quarterback, finds his #1 target down the field. Clayton Brown unfortunately down again, having a rough go in this first quarter. Hope he's okay, but a nice pickup there on that 1st down play from this North Montgomery team.
A gain of 8 out to the 29-yard line as Brown makes another catch. As we mentioned, had 4 catches for 2 touchdowns, had 99 yards last week receiving, and also had that 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So a real dynamic guy for North Montgomery. 2nd time he's been banged up a little bit. Now remember, the last time he got banged up, he came out and almost hauled in that deep fly pattern on the last drive.
That's exactly right. A guy that they need on the football field every chance they get, especially when it comes to majoring in the department of trying to score points.
Here's 2nd down and 2 as we have less than a minute to go here in the first quarter. RPO up the middle, and Glasson takes it up for a couple. It was a 2nd down and 2, and if he gets the 31, he won't, and so it'll be 3rd down and 1, and we'll see if they want to run one more play here, but with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Two wide out to the left. Payson Frazier is in the slot left. Warren right under center on 3rd down and 1. There was a whole bunch of movement on both sides of the ball. Warren got underneath the center, Wyatt Harshbarger, and moved him a little bit, and I think that's what the false start's on.
But I'll tell you, I think it was the aggressiveness of Jack Warren going under center, lifting his center up was what actually jarred the penalty flag for the false start. Sometimes playing center, sometimes those quarterbacks, they understand the importance of that football on the snap exchange, just getting overzealous with trying to get that center's butt up just enough for his comfort level.
You don't see a lot of quarterbacks lifting their 235-pound center in the air, but Warren made that look pretty easy.
You'd be surprised how much empowerment quarterbacks feel when they get in under center.
We'll see what North Montgomery has drawn up. We have 1 quarter of play in the books. Stars out front 14-0. You're watching Indiana High School football here on the ISC Sports Network.
WinTech, powered by Tipmont, is building the future in Battleground. We offer 3 easy and affordable packages with superior reliability, customer service, and no data caps. Get a free Roku when you sign up today at join.wintech.com.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
3rd down and 6 here for North Montgomery. 3rd time they've had the ball tonight. They trail 14-0 to Western Boone. Empty set for Jack Warren. Has already completed a pass here on this drive. We've seen him use his legs a ton. So 3rd down and 6 after the false start penalty. Glass in the motion man. Warren takes it himself over the right side, runs into some trouble. He'll be stopped a yard or 2 short as he ran right into that second level of the Western Boone defense.
Western Boone got stout right at the perfect moment just before Warren was approaching that 1st down line to gain. Have to give Weibo credit for being stout when it matters most. So far, they've shown a willingness to put all of their defensive attention inside, eliminating even the threat of North Montgomery running the football.
Kane Reed, the senior safety, on the tackle. And here's 4th down and 1, or 4th down and 2, excuse me, for North Montgomery. But back to punt this one away will be either Warren or Brown. Scooted in. Looks like it was Brown that was able to drive that high punt away. Second beautiful punt of the night. Hit somebody in the back. The question, was it Dylan Sheets of Western Boone, or was it Tyler Thompson of North Montgomery? Looks like it was Thompson of North Montgomery.
I tell you, being at many of these high school football games, a replay for special teams alone would do a lot of good for everyone involved, just because this ball, you just don't know. With the naked eye, you're trusting the officials to make the correct call, but when it's bang, bang, and you are in the business of wanting them to get it right, you just don't know. So Western Boone walks away feeling fortunate there, as the official call was them retaining football possession.
Kopriva under center, moving Leighton Yancey from the wing back left to the wing back right. Turns and puts it in the belly of Smith, right into the arms of the first man through for North Montgomery. And good first pressure through by Colin Zachary, the defensive end.
Haven't seen much of Jack Mallory in the backfield so far for Western Boone, but that's going to be another guy that is featured in the run game, something that, as I saw them last year, the Stars, they like to do, having 2 running backs that can do a bunch of different things coming out of the backfield. But when the first guy is rolling like Jacob Smith is, why change anything up?
That's kind of the role that Smith was in a year ago, the change of pace guy. Now the featured man this year for the Stars. Number called again, try to break another arm tackle. He gets mushed down right after he crosses into North Montgomery territory. Again, stopping him on that one was Zachary.
And to that point, Rick, it's easy when you're Jacob Smith to take all of the loose change that Mason Amick passes down to you. When that guy goes for over 1,000 yards rushing, it makes your job a lot easier because so much attention goes to him, and then you come in and can do just as much damage with not as much attention.
Barnett, the nose tackle, able to clean up that play, and it's a 3rd down and 2 for the Western Boone offense. It looks like the Charger defense just made a little bit of contact with the center, Luke Cummins. Or did he? It is offside on the Chargers, and that'll be an automatic 1st down here for Western Boone as the quarterback switch comes in with Westerfeld.
That was linebacker junior Mason Mills anticipating hitting his blitz right at the snap. The changeup with the cadence threw him off just long enough for him to cross that neutral zone, garnering that offsides penalty.
Sawyer out wide to the left. As the fullback is the defensive lineman Venus. Sees that's a big man trying to clear the way for Smith. Another flag on the play. And false start against the Western Boone offense. So we move up 5, we move back 5. It has been a lot of flags in the last couple minutes.
A big dance of charades we're playing in this second quarter. particularly with Venus being a defensive lineman. And then, as Coach Pelly said, he will play all over the place, but in particular on that offensive side, sometimes in special packages. And then you see him in the backfield. I'm assuming he was excited to get the ball if he was the guy being featured on that run. Look to see what he does on this play.
Set up just slightly to the right, trying to clear the way forward for Westerfeld. He does as Westerfeld dances his way through, and there's Venus just pushing the pile an extra 5 yards and a little bit of a pull as well, and I think that's what that late flag is going to be, as it looked like Venus came around to the front and started pulling his man forward. You can push from the back, but when you start pulling him forward, that's where he gets a little bit out of sight.
Well, if I'm being completely honest, there comes a point where you step outside of your level of comfort. Venus being on the perimeter is one of those outside of the comfort zones, but just wanting to be a great teammate. Saw his guy in need in Westerfeld and said, you know what, let me join in on this ride and pull you by myself.
It's kind of hard, 6 feet, 250 pounds, though, right?
You're just looking to be physical. He does a nice job. Defender goes for a cut, gets the pancake, and then he goes, why not? I'm so used to attacking ball carriers on the other side. Why not attack my own, but then pull him with me? But unfortunately, Mr. Venus cannot do that.
He also actually aided in the tackle as well by taking Westerfeld with him down to the grass. So a long discussion here, but again, it looks like the penalty will go against Venus for an illegal procedure. And they'll march it back to the 43-yard line.
I can just tell how the football is sitting down in this grass right here at North Montgomery. I hope these young fellas have some nice cleats and studs on the bottom so they eliminate the slippage that could go on down there.
Westerfeld on the reverse. McLean with some open room to go, and it's going to come back on the holding penalty by Sam Roush as McLean able to boogie his way inside the 15. The 5'6" speedster had a whole bunch of grass to work with, but he was aided by Roush on a little bit of a tug.
Roush, the 2-year starter, once you get up to the second level, all you know as an offensive lineman is stay in front of this guy as long as possible. But there's a caveat to that. When you get to the second level and you're out in all that open space, once you block him for just long enough and you feel him starting to detach, just shove him in the direction of the play and let it go. But that extra tug right there does you no good because you eliminate an explosive play, taking the chains back even further.
Spun Payson Frazier, the free safety, around. And it was a 1st down and 9 because of the initial yardage gained by the Westerfeld run, even though the penalty brought him back. So that's why you saw the 1st down and 9, and now it'll be 2nd down and 13. Or 1st and 13, excuse me. A lot of penalties, 4 or 5 here already on the drive. Kopriva back in, back to Smith again, and he gets all that penalty yardage back and more, barreling his way inside the 30. Mason Mills, one of the ones to finally stop his progress.
But the issue, watch all of the tackle attempts up top, trying to get him or just diving at his legs without a true attempt to bring him down. You have to go cut the ball carrier in half, attack the knee area without being dirty to really get a bigger guy down to the ground. The Charging Chargers unable to do that, and we see Jacob Smith continuing to rumble and stumble out of this Western Boone backfield.
330 yards on the ground, more than doubled his entire season output in one game last week. Also scored 5 times. Longest run last week for the season was 68. Turn and give again. Melts through one tackle and upended by Mills again, but another nice carry by Smith as the Stars start knocking on the door of the red zone.
When you get in trouble, you go to some trick plays if you're Western Boone, the occasional pass play down the field. Sometimes it's just about getting back to what you do, and establishing the run is what Western Boone does. And it helps when you have Jacob Smith, somebody that we've already said his name a lot tonight and will continue to be the case as we go throughout the rest of this football game.
Sheets and Sawyer line up wide to the top of your screen. The motion man is the wingback Yancey. North Montgomery showing pressure from the edge. Straight keep up the middle by Kopriva. Just got tripped up before he could really find that extra gear. And it looked to be Mills once again. That's a 3rd straight play that Mills has come up with a tackle for the Chargers.
But this is smart football. You line up under center formation and you recognize all of the open gaps just by defensive alignment. I'm not sure why many more offenses and offensive coordinators don't go to that more often, just because it's almost like you're stealing, as we just saw the Stars do, getting that 1st down.
Less than 7 to go here in the opening half. Western Boone trying to score for the 3rd time tonight. They've scored 2 out of their 3 times at the Rock so far. Up the middle again to Smith with a lot of motion there with Levi Atkins. But Smith, no surprise here, gains 5 yards to the 10. It'll be 2nd and 5.
So credit to this offensive line. As we talked about it at the start of the broadcast, when you're in this type of offense, it usually goes to advantage of guys that are smaller, faster, can get up to the second level. But when you got big guys like this Western Boone offensive line has, you can lean on some people a little bit more, and we can see that line of scrimmage just moving in their advantage, going down the field every chance they get.
Keeping himself is Westerfeld, the backup quarterback. Twisting and turning his way forward. Hunter Powell knocks that pile over with the help of a couple of his Charger teammates. But another positive gain will be 3rd and short.
Westerfeld is a veteran player, just a junior, but a guy that was tied with Levi Atkins and Dylan Sheets a season ago on the defensive side of the ball with 2 interceptions. So his propensity to be around the football doesn't surprise me with him playing quarterback this year in a bit of a different feel and look against opposing defenses.
9th play of the drive for the Stars, trying to extend their lead to a 3-score game. Here's we're past the halfway point of the 2nd quarter. Westerfeld under center again, turns and gives to Smith. Big hole to the right side, and he leapfrogs a man into the end zone for his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night.
As an offensive lineman, you always love the runs as you're approaching the goal line where the running back gets in, and it's almost like he wasn't touched. And that was close, but the defenders tried to touch him as he was already hurtling into the end zone. Jacob Smith and that offensive line doing work in this first half.
2 for 2 tonight for Isaac Threkeld, the senior, out of the hold of Westerfeld. And the backup kicker getting plenty of work here tonight, and he is 3 for 3 on point after touchdowns. So with 5:20 remaining in the first half, it's a 3-touchdown lead for Western Boone as they go 9 plays, 57 yards, and they take almost 6 minutes off of that 2nd quarter clock. A real methodical drive for the Stars offense.
The Stars offense just hitting all of their spots, even when they go back because of penalties, something that's been a consistent trend for both teams. They've still found a way to the next play, go get that yardage back and get the thing right back on schedule. Efficiently operating right now, the Stars are.
Tonight's game brought to you by Tipmont. Tipmont Fiber Internet Service has the reliable speeds you need to stream all the sports, news, shows, and movies you want. Visit joinwintech.com to learn more. When you're there, let them know how much you enjoy the coverage of high school football on the airwaves here tonight.
Well, I can say I'm enjoying the coverage so far.
I second that.
It's a pleasure always working with you, Rick.
You got it, pal. Again, we saw you, like you mentioned, you and I worked together week 1. We're in the middle, and I think we'll work at the end. It's a very, I see at the beginning, we see each other in the middle, and then we see to put a ball in the regular season. It's kind of a nice little symmetry with it.
That's exactly right. I don't know if it was organic or if that was intentional, but either way, I'm just fine with it.
That's Jared Thomas. You've seen him on the Big Ten Network a couple of times here this fall at Purdue and at IU, providing coverage there on BTN. As Dakota Glasson, another kickoff return here and trying to find some momentum here at North Montgomery. Again, it was Clayton Brown with the big plays a week ago. He's been a little bit banged up, so it might be coming to Glasson a little bit forward in order to try to get a little pop back here for the Chargers.
But it feels that Coach Thompson's bunch want to push the ball down the field, but it's tough because protection hasn't quite been able to hold up for them to do that. So they do have to, as you said, go to Glasson and maybe break up the neutralizing factor in that pass rush, which is attention to Glasson as a runner. Let's see what they do on this next drive.
Brown, as we mentioned, has been banged up a little bit tonight. The 6-foot sophomore is back out there at the top of your screen. First down from the 38. Give to Glasson. He can really scoot. Big-time run around the left side. He's finally shoved out of bounds after a big gain out near midfield. Levi Atkins finished it off, and the North Montgomery folks want a little extra 15 for maybe a hit out of bounds.
For those watching, I said just a little bit ago, they haven't had success running in the middle because of that defensive line for Western Boone. What is the next phase for your run game? Go to the outside, attack the perimeter. Nice call there on first down to pick up a positive play and get some momentum going on this offensive drive.
13 yards on the scampering run from Glasson. He'll work the right side this time, cuts it back up the middle, and runs into guess who? Big Xander Venus. And a late flag is thrown in there, and we'll see who it is on.
You saw Glasson get the defense moving sideways. You saw the face mask by Xander Venus, because as soon as he put his foot in the ground to exploit a cutback lane, you saw he was erased from the camera screen, and that was because that big mitt from Xander Venus reached out and grabbed that face mask, and they'll get you every single time.
After being pretty clean through the majority of that opening quarter, it has been a lot of flags on the field here for Western Boone, first offensively and now one here on the defense. So a free 15 yards moves this deeper into Western Boone territory at their own 34 for North Montgomery. Warren, option, pitch, Glasson, good block on the outside, and look at Glasson go streaking out into the open field. Christie spins him down, but a nice takedown to the 21. That's a gain of 13.
There was a play in the first quarter where Warren had the triple option, and he decided not to pitch it to his running back. This time he learned from his mistake, got it to Glasson, was already having a hot hand on this drive, does the right thing, is a point guard, gets it to his playmaker. Another first down for the Chargers.
A quick snap here for North Montgomery. And again, trying to find the big play man in Clayton Brown. A long throw that's out of bounds by Warren. He has been unafraid tonight to throw that sucker deep.
As we've already talked about, he has the ability to do so. He may not be the most accurate, but it's not because he can't get the football there. He definitely has the power to drive the ball down the field.
Hand off to Glasson. Extra pressure comes. That's going to force him to get outside, and coming up and making the tackles, Levi Atkins. Nice job to shed the block by the offensive tackle, or the outside linebacker, excuse me.
Right around 7 tackles a game coming into tonight's game, second on the team in tackles at 30, and you see exactly why. Even when Glasson thought he could outflank Atkins, Atkins with a nice profile tackle, getting him down out of bounds.
A guy that the Western Boone coaching staff says his best football is ahead of him. And behind the sticks, once again, is the Chargers offense, 3rd and 11. Here with 4 to go in the second quarter. Warren climbs the pocket, throws on the run, looking to the end zone, running out of room will be Brown, as again, Christie was there in coverage.
A nice job by Jack Warren keeping his eyes up, something that we didn't see in the first quarter. He actually looked to be a runner. That time you can see as he climbs the pocket, avoids the pressure, eyes stay down the field. Now the next part of it is he just has to take a little bit off of that football as he's trying to find the open receivers downfield.
Might have taken a little shot as well there by the spying linebacker as he threw it off of 1 foot. So here's 4th down and 11. North Montgomery 0 for 1 on 4th down. They threw a pick back in the first quarter. Warren, pressure coming from behind, throws on the run into traffic, and was he inbounds? No, it was complete, but out of bounds to Brown, and a turnover on downs here for North Montgomery.
I saw 2 things on that play, Rick. As Warren rolled out to his right, didn't have a second receiver in his eyesight. That receiver inside was actually working away from him, only had 1 target to really go to, and actually threaded the needle really nicely on the sideline. Receiver just unable to keep his feet in bounds.
So a tough break there for North Montgomery on a real promising drive. You got the face mask penalty. It added that extra 15 yards, but it really stalled out once they got inside the 30-yard line there of Western Boone. So here's Brennan Kopriva, his top running back. Jacob Smith behind him has been the workhorse here in the first half, with Weibo leading by 3 touchdowns. Smith to the left. Wrestles his way across the 25-yard line, and more positive yardage here for big number 33.
I wouldn't be surprised if I see North Montgomery start to dive at the legs of the offensive line just to force a jolting reaction from Jacob Smith. He's just getting downhill too easily right now, and they need him to just stop his momentum for just a second to allow everyone else on defense to rally to the football.
Yancey tightened the formation. See 5 on the line here for North Montgomery. Kopriva, nice little in route, but that thing was batted down to the line of scrimmage. Getting his hands up there, the 6'4", Colin Zachary.
Pass batted down.
So Zachary beats that one down at the line of scrimmage using that 6'4" frame, and the clock stops with 3:09 to go here in the opening half. Both teams still with all 3 of their timeouts. Kopriva was 5 of 6 through the air last week, runs the option gets taken down from behind. He thought about pitching that thing late, and that could have been really bad, Jared, as Hunter Powell was holding on to the back of his T-shirt.
It's a nice tackle right there. Staying in legal tackling position. Doesn't reach up in that shoulder pad, neck area. But Powell doing a nice job. Even though it looked like Kopriva was going to break away, gets him down.
Timeout. Timeout on the field by North Montgomery. We'll step away for 30 seconds to be back with the 4th down and 5 play next.
Timeout, Chargers.
Meet Henry. Henry is hip. Henry loves the new Mintel TV streaming app. And check out Helen. With features like Cloud DVR, Restart, and Look Back TV, Helen never misses her favorite shows. And this? Well, this is Bob. Bob can't contain his excitement for the new Mintel TV streaming app. Bob is proving that you actually can teach an old dog new tricks. What do you say, Bob? Does the Mintel TV app get a thumbs up? All right, Bobby-o. Mintel TV, the next generation of awesome, upgrade today.
Wintech.
Western Boone is elected to punt here with 3:02 remaining in the second quarter. They lead by 21 over North Montgomery as the Chargers have elected to take the timeout. Here's Bo Sawyer for his second punt of the night. Almost had that one go through his hands. Thankfully, he's got those sticky gloves on. Boots this one deep, and Glasson calls for the fair catch. Out near the 40-yard line. Actually, make that Caden Cohey back to take that punt. So now with 2:56 to go in the second quarter, 2 timeouts for North Montgomery. We've seen them, Jared, be unafraid to go to the air, but you don't want to get a little bit too risky here and risk giving the ball back to Western Boone in good field position.
But once again, this is like another basketball reference, the three-point line. Just because you aren't making them doesn't mean you stop taking them. They've ran the ball well on that last drive. That is North Montgomery, and they're trying to push the ball down the field, but they can't shy away from it because at some point in time they're going to connect. But I think to start, they have to continue to lean on that run game with Glasson coming out of the backfield.
What's the phrase? Shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot, right?
But the common denominator is you have to continue to shoot.
Well, Warren shooting his shot here, and he might get taken down. An extra 15 on the face mask from Shields. We'll see if they threw the flag. Either way, he takes it all the way to the 39 of Western Boone. That's the longest play from scrimmage tonight for the North Montgomery offense.
I'm actually really surprised that they didn't get another 15 tacked onto that because that was a face mask, something that they've shown they're going to call in this one. Didn't on that one. Nonetheless, another positive play for the Chargers.
Throw across the middle, complete, trying to break the tackle. Couldn't do it, but it's Glasson with Westerfeld riding him down. But that's 2 big plays here for the North Montgomery offense.
We talk about him being the protagonist in the backfield running the ball, but 12 catches, 121 receiving yards, and a touchdown before that deep dagger route over the middle, doing a nice job for Warren finding his targets down the field.
And Warren keeps it himself. Short gain this time on first down, and they've taken just 50 seconds off of the clock here with those 2 big chunk plays to start.
That's now back-to-back drives. It's only taken them a couple of plays to not only strike with the first play of the drive, but then get into the red zone scoring area. Maybe this time they can find a way to cross that goal line and get in the end zone for a score.
Plays of 28 and 17 yards to start this drive off. Here's second down. Little comebacker right side. Brown catches it, trying to weave his way through multiple stars tacklers. Venus comes all the way out to tackle him from that defensive back spot. Christie was the man in coverage. Here's third and short.
The only thing that comes to mind for Clayton Brown is as soon as you catch the football, don't go backwards. Just turn your shoulders upfield and get whatever you can at that point.
Here's third down and short from the 19. It'll be a 3rd down and 2. From the 19-yard line of Western Boone, and a timeout taken by the Chargers. That leaves them with 1. With 1:13 left to go here in the first half, we'll step away briefly and come back with a 3rd down and 2 snap next. You're watching Indiana High School football on the ISC Sports Network.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Minute 13 for the Navy and Orange of North Montgomery. They've dropped 9 of the last 11 to Western Boone, who they square off with tonight. One of the better scoring opportunities of the night here with a minute 13 left to go in the second quarter here for the North Montgomery offense.
Well, Rick, to that all-time record since 1994 against Western Boone, these Chargers are actually 17-14, but since 2011 they've lost 11 of those 14 in that loss column. So that was a team that was cooking early on when this matchup got started, but haven't found much success since.
Motion man, and a flag is thrown right as Cohee might have been looking to get the jet sweep there. And judging by the folks in Orange's reaction, it's going to go against them. So 3rd and 2 is now going to become 3rd and 7 back to the 24. The line to gain is the 17 of Western Boone. North Montgomery has 1 timeout left. Western Boone has all 3. So a 3rd and 7 for the quarterback, Jack Warren. Option, pitching, Glasson bulldozes his way through the first tackle of Reed, gets back to that 19-yard line, and now a decision once again for North Montgomery on 4th down and short.
Shows you the strength of Dakota Glasson. That was Kane Reed flying in to make a tackle on Glasson, and that was Reed wearing most of that hit delivered by Glasson, only 155 pounds, but has shown that he packs a mighty punch.
4th down and 2. North Montgomery has yet to convert a 4th down tonight. They're 0 for 2. You see the clock not moving. That's because Glasson got out of bounds, and that stopped the clock. He's to the left of Warren in the gun. Warren up the middle on the design run, and that should be good enough for the 1st down. Cohee signals it, and they get it by a yard to spare. A 3-yard pickup on 4th and 2.
This play was made by Tyler Warren, doing a nice job being a football player. I understand what the blocking scheme calls for, but he understands where you are in the game right now. 4th and 2, just get your foot down in the ground, go north and south, and get what you can for that 1st down. He did exactly that in a timely fashion for his North Montgomery charging Chargers.
A little bit of a chain mishap there on the far sideline as they couldn't get the sticks fully extended to the full 10 yards. Warren drops back, throws off his back foot, go route, end zone. Going up to go get it was Brown. It got kicked into the air, and almost coming in to make the diving catch was Cohee. Now Brown might have stepped out of bounds initially, but that would have been one heck of a play if it was converted.
Just showing you how you have to continue to stay with the play. And as you said, that was Cohee staying with it. Now Westerfield couldn't have come down with it, but Cohee surely could have, and was almost able to come up with the trick play for the touchdown.
I didn't realize we had the Savannah Bananas out on the field tonight. It was Malachi Christie's left foot that kicked that thing a country mile in the air. 45 seconds left. Warren, right when he hits that back foot, goes off the hands of Glasson. That would have been a really nice pickup on 2nd and 10.
That's exactly what you call right there. That's what you're looking for, just a rhythm throw. All that means as soon as the quarterback gets to the back of his drop, the ball is coming out right now. The route matched up with that timing from the quarterback, just unable to connect with Glasson on that 2nd down attempt.
So 3rd down and 10 to go for North Montgomery. They turned it over on downs last drive after they got it inside at about this same spot of the field. Pressure comes to the right side. Nice move from Warren. Green grass in front. A stiff arm to boot as he spun out of bounds by Kraus. Warren pleaded for the flag, and it looks like he's going to get it. He was stopped short of the 1st down marker, but that extra 15 for the tackle out of bounds will put North Montgomery in great field position here late in the half.
Maverick Kraus being a top tackler on this team, you see, does a nice job, not even on that side of the formation, tracks down Warren, and then it's just too much at the end. It was enough to get him out of bounds, but the sling and the extra effort to throw him down is where they got him for the personal foul.
Late hit, out of bounds, so move him half the distance to the goal as he got pushed out at the 7. So it's goal to go from the 4, actually from the 3. Option pitch, Glasson cannot get through the tackle of Reed, who came up from his safety spot and laid the wood.
When you're so used to taking on run fits and your guys like Kane Reed, you're not afraid, as we've already talked about, to come down and lay the boom. And sometimes you wear it and sometimes you deliver it. And that was a big-time hit by Reed there, flying downhill from that safety position.
They'll actually give him a 1-yard gain, so it's goal to go from the 2. Glasson shoved out of bounds, so the clock stops at 32 seconds left. Jet sweep, Glasson cutting it up. Extra dance move, trying to get the corner, looking for the goal line, and he's in. Dakota Glasson with his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, and much-needed points here for the North Montgomery offense.
My offensive line coach at Northwestern used to say sometimes goal line offense is about fooling a few, running over a few, and making a few miss. And that's exactly what happened there. Ran over a few, outran a few, and Glasson just puts the ball in his hands and makes some magic happen for the first score of the game for North Montgomery.
And the offense is going to stay on the field here. They will try to go for 2. Remember, Western Boone will receive, or North Montgomery, excuse me, will receive the second half kickoff. So a big snap here. Payson Frazier moves into the left of Warren, and you can see the senior quarterback apoplectic with that timeout called as he saw something for that Western Boone defense that he really liked.
That's called he wanted to stay in rhythm. Saw that they just gashed him on the touchdown run and then wanting to just stay with it. But that's that coach-player relationship. You don't know what you don't know. Nice job by this North Montgomery staff, not liking what they saw and said, let's take a second to talk about it.
26 seconds left to go in the half as Payson Frazier exits for North Montgomery. And again, the offense in the huddle there with the North Montgomery coaching staff. They're led by 12th-year head coach Josh Thompson. That is a North Montgomery timeout. So they're out of timeouts here with 26 seconds left. As we mentioned, they'll receive the second half kickoff. So you kind of hear that, kind of to use another basketball reference. I like where we're going tonight. You get a little make it, take it here at the end of the half.
That's exactly right, and it's a boost of confidence going into the locker room, knowing that you scored when you felt like you probably should have 2 on the board, but you capitalized when it mattered most. But then also building confidence coming out of the locker room, knowing that you're going to get the football right back in your possession.
Thompson set to the left of Warren in the backfield. 2-point conversion opportunity here for the Chargers. And now Western Boone wants to have a chat.
Timeout start.
Well, you can't take the timeouts with it to the second half, so you might as well use them. And, with only 26 seconds left, barring a very long kickoff return after this conversion try, there aren't a lot of options for Western Boone offensively to try to strike again here at the end of half 1.
But also the chess match when it comes to timeouts is interesting because usually it's the offensive play caller that if they see a defense to what they're doing, they say, okay, let's do this. But the same can be said for the defense. Defense comes out in a different formation that they see. Hey, let's take a second to talk about it. Now for the trifecta, let's see what happens on this 3rd attempt at this 2-point conversion.
Western Boone scored on 3 of their first 4 drives of the game to take a 21-0 lead. As Jared mentioned, the drive before this one for North Montgomery fizzled out and around the red zone area of Western Boone. They've been able to punch it in here on Dakota Glasson's 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. And now the Chargers will go for 2. Again, Thompson remains to the left of Warren. Pressure comes to the backside, thrown across and deflected away. Kane Reed smacks that pass out of there as they're trying to connect with Hunter Powell across the middle.
I actually think Tyler Warren had his receiver out to the right and just didn't give it a chance, banking on Powell being open. And actually credit to Western Boone, everything was covered pretty tightly, so a nice effort there from them defensively there on that 2-point conversion.
So a pass breakup by the safety Kane Reed. Kickoff coming here with 26 seconds remaining in period number 2. That drive for North Montgomery, 11 plays, 73 yards, and took 2 minutes and 30 seconds off of the second quarter clock. So that's the longest drive we've had of the night. Western Boone has scored on drives of 5 plays, 3 plays, and 9 plays. They've got 2 timeouts left with 26 seconds remaining in here in the second quarter. And again, it'll be Western Boone to kick off to start quarter number 3. So after North Montgomery, a slow start here, Jerry, they found a nice little balance here, a little pop at the end of the second quarter.
And the thing that I love, what they did offensively in both drives that we just saw, the one they didn't score and this most recent one when they did, the constant was running the football, more so on the perimeter, something that they can take into the second half.
And a little squib kick that is going to go out of bounds. That is not what North Montgomery wanted to see there. And you're going to give Western Boone some pretty decent field position as Dylan Sheets was the deep man there back for the Stars.
If we go to class for just a second with 26 seconds on the clock. You understand the advantage you give your opponent by kicking the football out of bounds. But actually before that, an illegal procedure by the kicking team. So that is North Montgomery dodging a bullet there. If they had kicked that football out of bounds in the field position, they would have given Western Boone to start that offensive possession.
So a re-kick here for North Montgomery, and their kicker Clayton Brown, who does pretty much everything, plays on both sides of the ball and special teams for North Montgomery. Last one got kicked out of bounds. This one's going to get kicked out of bounds as well. And so we'll see if Western Boone elects to have them re-kick again, move them 5 yards back, or take the ball out near the 40. At this rate, you just keep backing them up 5 yards, and eventually you can just take the ball at midfield. If the way, so they're just going to mark this thing back. And the other thing too, the farther you move Brown back, the better field position you get, which means Western Boone might not have to. You have these 2 timeouts come into play and actually try and score this thing.
Or if you're North Montgomery, you can stop kicking it out of bounds and just kick it in the
field. That would be a viable option. That is one option. It'll actually be Eli Peebles to try to boot this one away. So Peebles, the last 2 kicks have gone out of bounds, both he and Brown standing over the ball. That's Brown. Kicks this one back towards that same left sideline, but kicks it right at Dylan Sheets. He can really scoot. Already out near midfield, plows his way through an arm tackle. He's in North Montgomery territory, and he's tackled down from behind, but that is not what North Montgomery wanted to see. Lucky Young and Payson Frazier stop an even greater gain from Shields, but that is a heck of a return for Western Boone.
And what we've seen from Western Boone is it doesn't take much for this run game to get going. They actually haven't been able to tackle the Stars, that is the Charging Chargers. So if you're at the 43-yard line and you're Western Boone, you feel pretty good with the amount of time you have, the timeouts that you can use, and the run game that you have.
Kopriva in the gun. Wing back to the left is Yancey. Smith the back in the backfield. Kopriva, screen, dumps it down to Smith. He's got some blockers in front, eludes a man out to the near sideline, just runs through a would-be tackler as Smith down to the 30-yard line. That's a 13-yard pickup as Peebles was there to finally stop him.
Smart play calling, understanding that everyone in orange is going to be on high alert for anything getting back behind them. So what do? You sell the deep pass, and then you drop it off to Jacob Smith. You get what you can get. Don't throw a fit. You run a guy over, stop the clock, and you still keep your 2 timeouts.
We'll say he stepped out of bounds at the 31, so a gain of 12. 10.5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Western Boone trying to increase that lead again. Kopriva right over the left side, caught by Sawyer. Makes a man miss, gets ripped down at the 15 or 14-yard line, and that'll be an extra 15 coming at the end of the play with that late flag. And you see the referee on the far sideline already signaling that Western Boone timeout. So that'll stop the clock with 3 7/10 left. And now the question is, where is the ball going to be positioned? Face mask against North Montgomery. Your line of scrimmage right now is the 15-yard line, so that should be half the distance to the goal.
Just a nice throw from Kopriva, getting it right over Hunter Powell's head. Bo Sawyer, as we've already seen, got a touchdown in that first half. And then there, getting another big play and explosive, and then getting some more yardage added on to it with the face mask by that defense.
So it was initially a 16-yard pitch and catch down to the 15, but the face mask will be half the distance to the goal. It'll be 1st and goal for Western Boone from the North Montgomery 7. As they take their second of 3 first-half timeouts. With only 3 seconds left, you'd love to give the ball to Smith from 7 yards away, but if you do, that might be the last play of the half.
It's a viable option at this point in the game, but in a tricky position, as you've already said, and where you are on the field, have to imagine that you put the ball in Kopriva's hands, find a receiver, and then if it is just a check down, worst case scenario, if you do drop back, get it to Jacob Smith and bank on him making a couple of guys miss and running over a couple of guys at the same time to potentially get in for a score.
What have you liked most from the Western Boone offense tonight?
I love the response to adversity. Within drives, there's going to be adversity, penalties, negative plays, but every time they've gone backwards on a play, they've marched right back and gone even more on the second play in the right direction. So just a resilient bunch. Although they're a young team, that's something Coach Pelly talked about. They're doing a nice job growing up in front of his own eyes, responding to adversity consistently in this first half.
Copriva, the starting quarterback, back under center. With Smith, the running back. Motion man. They fake the pitch. Copriva to throw. Looking to the corner of the end zone. Trying to make a one-handed catch was Yancey. Incomplete, and that is the final play of the first half.
Have to feel encouraged. They go with the fake sweep and then trying to find the receiver in the back of the end zone. That's Jackson Leslie, not able to come down with the pass. No, I'm sorry, that is not Jackson Leslie. That was Leighton Yancey, as you already said, trying to find him in the back of the end zone. Doing a nice job by that charging Chargers defense to get a stop right before half.
21-6 the lead for Western Boone as they try to pick up another win, their second one in a row, if they can hold on to the lead here at the half against North Montgomery. We're back with the halftime show next. You're watching Indiana High School football on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you heard? Tipmont and Wintech have joined forces to build a stunningly fast fiber optic internet service with no data caps and the best customer service from a company you know and trust. Sign up today and follow our progress at join.wintech.com.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Power. We all want it. We all need it. It not only lights our homes, but it drives our businesses. It strengthens our communities. It empowers us to make our own decisions. Today, we're giving power to more than 22,000 members. We're a homegrown, locally based cooperative that does something the big electric companies won't: give safe, affordable, and reliable power to rural communities. We're Tipmont REMC, and our members have the power.
And that'll volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Jumped though by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Goodness.
Wintech, powered by Tipmont, is building the future in Battleground. We offer 3 easy and affordable packages with superior reliability, customer service, and no data caps. Get a free Roku when you sign up today at join.wintech.com.
Meet Henry. Henry is hip. Henry loves the new Mintel TV streaming app. And check out Helen. With features like Cloud DVR, Restart, and Look Back TV, Helen never misses her favorite shows. And this? Well, this is Bob. Bob can't contain his excitement for the new Mintel TV streaming app. Bob is proving that you actually can teach an old dog new tricks. What do you say, Bob? Does the Mintel TV app get a thumbs up? All right, Bobby-o. Mintel TV, the next generation of awesome. Upgrade today.
Halftime at North Montgomery High School, and right now the hosts down 21-6 He got the break to the Stars of Western Boone. Rick and Jared back here with you at halftime. Western Boone scored the first 21. North Montgomery made their adjustments. Had a chance to really get 2 scores there in that second quarter. They got it on the second drive, and the last drive they had of the second quarter. What'd you like most about North Montgomery, their adjustments, after kind of taking one of the chin back there in quarter 1?
I just love the fact that they saw what they were trying to do, which was run in the middle, and probably allow Tyler Warren to be a playmaker. Wasn't exactly what they had success with, and then they went to that perimeter runs, going to the outside zone on the one play with Glasson, and then Warren being a runner as well, attacking the edges of the defense. So just the willingness to understand that what they wanted to do didn't work at first, but saying there is still success out there, let's just go find it and then exploit it.
On the other side, for Western Boone, everybody knows about their fantastic running attack. They rushed for over 550 yards last week. They get 2 rushing scores. They bookend that with Smith on both of those, a 29-yarder and an 8-yarder. But in between, they go to the air big time to Bo Sawyer for 64 yards. He was wide open. There was no one within the zip code of him. What'd you like about seeing seeing Western Boone open up the passing attack a little bit?
It all goes hand in hand. One thing that Justin Pelly talked about with his team and our phone call with him was that we're not a passing team. That is probably a weakness of ours. And then when you go on the defensive side, that's not something that they do well because they don't see it that much. So to be a good defensive secondary and you don't have a good passing offense, it really doesn't go hand in hand. And so then you have Brennan Kopriva, who's now a first-time starter as a senior, but he's only thrown the ball before tonight's game 27 times, and he's only got 4 in passing touchdowns, but he comes out tonight, and when you have success on the ground, it's 2 things. You have to call pass plays to be balanced, but then you also have to not be afraid to take shots down the field, and I saw them doing that, playing on a strength, which is running the football, but then building up a weakness, which is pushing the ball down the field. 156 passing yards for Kopriva a week ago against Greencastle, and then in tonight's game doing a nice job finding receivers, both Sawyer in particular, with that touchdown pass in the first quarter.
How important, how big would it have been from a momentum swing if Western Boone could have cashed in and gotten some points there? They obviously had the one play with about 4 seconds left, threw it out of bounds in the back corner. That was the end of the half. But after everything good that North Montgomery had done through the majority of that second quarter, that could have been a real backbreaker, I think, if the Stars could have got some points there.
It's the conversation of teetering and taking control of a football game. There's always those plays that if you're able to really put your foot down on the gas, that's a gut punch to your opponent. And that's a drive that started with 26 seconds on the clock. You're already in plus territory. If you're able to go score, you have to feel like you just got gut punched if you're North Montgomery. You survive that gut punch, you come out with the ball in the second half. But that was a chance that I'm sure Coach Pelly would like to see his team take advantage of, because that really just puts the morale of North Montgomery in the tank a little bit when you score with as little seconds as there were at the end of that first half.
So the Chargers avoid disaster at the end of the first half. The good news for them is they get the ball to start half number 2. They're down 21-6. They were down by just 1 score a year ago, and then Western Boone blew the game open in the second half of 2024. What does the second half of 2025 have? We'll find out shortly. Halftime show rolls on here on the IHSAA Sports Network.
WinTech, powered by Tipmont, is building the future in Battleground. We offer 3 easy and affordable packages with superior reliability, customer service, and no data caps. Get a free Roku when you sign up today at join.wintech.com.
And little volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Jumped over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Goodness.
Power. We all want it. We all need it. It not only lights our homes, but it drives our businesses. It strengthens our communities. It empowers us to make our own decisions. Today, we're giving power to more than 22,000 members. We're a homegrown, locally based cooperative that does something the big electric companies won't. Give safe, affordable, and reliable power to rural communities. We're Tipmont REMC, and our members have the power.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. we see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Have you heard? Titmont and Wintech have joined forces to build a stunningly fast fiber optic internet service with no data caps and the best customer service from a company you know and trust. Sign up today and follow our progress at join.wintech.com.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the IHSAA Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds, talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports, every Tuesday night, 7:30, IHSAA Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
First half highlights here brought to you as Western Boone on top 21-6. As we mentioned, a lot of Jacob Smith in that first half. Big number 33 coming off that 330-yard rushing performance last week. He was really carrying, toting the rock well as you get that first quarter touchdown right there for Big 33.
Run lanes escorted by your offensive line, and then some decisive running from Jacob Smith, doing damage. A guy that has over 650 rushing yards before this one even kicked off tonight, and has already contributed heavily to that total on the season.
It's been a tough night for Jack Warren running the ball. The starting quarterback has unleashed it a little bit, but he and Brennan Kopriva have been taking some licks, and they've called their own number, particularly running up the middle.
That's the one downside that you have when you run your quarterback a little bit. As you see Kopriva finding Bo Sawyer down the sideline, fooling everyone. Eyes goes out to the left and then feeds a nice dot down the field to Sawyer. But when you run your quarterback, as we said, you do run the risk of them taking some licks unnecessarily at times. But I think both guys have done a nice job finding and maneuvering their way through the opposing defenses.
That touchdown for Sawyer was 64 yards, his longest of the season. The only takeaway in that first half was the INT by Malachi Christie. And like you mentioned in that first half, that was the first INT of the entire year, Jared, for Western Boone.
And they were +6 in the turnover differential between turnovers committed and turnovers forced, but none of them had anything to do with interceptions being picked off in favor of the Stars. A nice job there by Stark jumping in front of that football.
Clayton Brown got dinged up a couple of different times in that first half. Nice little comeback catch right there. But then more Smith for the Western Boone offense. He had guys just melting off of him and just carrying folks in orange and navy for a big ride.
We talked about it. He went from being a two-way player on the defensive line, showing that he didn't always have that healthy burst. But once they took him off that defensive line at the start of this year, he's just showed flashes of being the guy that can handle that workload, and he handled a brunt of it in that first half.
Another opportunity there for Kopriva. And here's the second rushing touchdown for Smith of the half from 9 yards away, and a little hurdle there at the end as he clicks his way into the end zone. 21-0 Western Boone at that point. But then the North Montgomery offense started to get going a little bit. They started to get a nice drive here, and it was all because of this guy. Dakota Glasson started getting big chunk plays.
It's a nice job by just going and capturing the edge. There are free yards out there, and time again, North Montgomery took advantage of it, as we see Jack Warren pitching it to Glasson on that option play, something that they had success with in that first half. And then, once again, him finding receivers down the field. You expect it to be Clayton Brown, but that time it was Dakota Glasson, them doing a nice job getting their points of their first points of the game on that drive later on in that one.
Then this almost became the highlight of the first half, is kicking the ball high in the air was Malachi Christie. He was celebrating an incomplete pass, but the ball not come back down to earth yet. Thankfully for North Montgomery, he did find the grass as Jack Warren calls his own number here, gets spun out of bounds, was a yard short of the first down, pleads for a face mask, and his prayers are answered, and that set up the scoring opportunity on the jet sweep to Dakota Glasson.
Once again, just outrunning everyone. Go attack the perimeter and dare Western Boone to tackle you. They weren't able to do so on that drive at all, and Glasson got in for the score.
After a couple of different timeouts, North Montgomery finally able to try to run their two-point conversion play. Clayton Brown had that one broken up by Reed, the defensive back for Western Boone, and so It looked to be a potential 21-8 halftime deficit. Also, Western Boone marched it right down the field after a big kickoff return by Sheets, set them up in a prime scoring opportunity with first and goal from the 7, an incomplete pass with 4 seconds left, and that was how the first half was played.
Had an opportunity, that was Kopriva, to feed the ball to Leighton Yancey, wasn't able to connect. I felt that would have been a gut punch, as we already talked about in the first part of halftime, but nonetheless, you leave that in the first half. Excited for the second.
We'll take a break, come back with the second half kickoff. At the break, it's Western Boone 21, North Montgomery 6. You're watching Indiana High School football on the ISC Sports Network.
Meet Henry. Henry is hip. Henry loves the new Mintel TV streaming app. And check out Helen. With features like Cloud DVR, Restart, and Look Back TV, Helen never misses her favorite shows. And this? Well, this is Bob. Bob can't contain his excitement for the new Mintel TV streaming app. Bob is proving that you actually can teach an old dog new tricks. What do you say, Bob? Does the Mintel TV app get a thumbs up? All right, Bobby-o. Mintel TV, the next generation of awesome, upgrade today.
WinTech, powered by Tipmont, is building the future in Battleground. We offer 3 easy and affordable packages with superior reliability, customer service, and no data caps. Get a free Roku when you sign up today at join.wintech.com.
And little volley, oh my goodness. What a touch for the goal. Jumped over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Oh my goodness. Give it to him. Rolls through the lane, and he knocks him. Oh my goodness.
Power. We all want it. We all need it. It not only lights our homes, but it drives our businesses. It strengthens our communities. It empowers us to make our own decisions. Today, we're giving power to more than 22,000 members. We're a homegrown, locally based cooperative that does something the big electric companies won't: give safe, affordable, and reliable power to rural communities. We're Tipmont REMC, and our members have the power.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Have you heard? Tipmont and WinTech have joined forces to build a stunningly fast fiber optic internet service with no data caps and the best customer service from a company you know and trust. Sign up today and follow our progress at join.wintech.com.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds, talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports, every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Final instructions being given as we are back at North Montgomery High School. Hosts down 21-6 here to Western Boone. Good news for the Chargers, the 95-96 state champs. They will get the ball to start the third quarter after scoring at the end of the second, trying to build some second half momentum here as they trail. You see on the scoreboard there, 21-6. Here to Western Boone, as we mentioned, they fell. North Montgomery did to Webo last year, 56-14 in this matchup of the newly minted Monon Conference, first year of existence for the Monon, and everybody trying to track down Cascade and Southmont. They're in a 3-way tie with Western Boone at the top of the standings at 2-0, but Cascade, the number 3 ranked team in Class 2A. They have been fantastic again as they are taking on Frankfort tonight. So a lot of top-end talent here in the brand-new Monon Conference here in 2025.
Southmont being the high school alma mater of Coach Josh Thompson. North Montgomery being over in Crawfordsville, also attended Wabash College, doing a nice job as the head man in charge. 12th season on the gig, but out of 11 seasons, 6 of those at 500 or better. So when you talk about success in a football program, anytime you can notch that 500 mark, you have to be doing a nice job.
So here's the starting kicker for Western Boone. First time we've seen the former soccer player Ben Fortner attempt to kick tonight. It has been Isaac Threkheld, who's attempted all 3 of the point-after touchdowns and kickoffs in the first half. Fortner, the lefty, approaches, and he booms this one deep into the night sky. And it's going to die at the 5-yard line. North Montgomery's going to have to pick this thing up and return it. That looks to be Clayton Brown trying to turn the edge. He went all the way back to near his goal line, and he somehow will run 50 yards to get about 6, and that thing could have been really, really bad as he was going in reverse.
Heard someone on the Charging Chargers sideline yell, "Go get it." That is a live ball if it does not cross that goal line. A nice job in an unconventional manner by Clayton Brown jumping on it and then reversing field before he's able to gain a few yards.
We saw that in the NFL last week with the Pittsburgh Steelers return man. Just had the ball, just go right. He goes, "All right, cool, we're out of here, see ya." And then it was they're playing the feud in the end zone trying to get that loose ball.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. That's why special teams such an important part of the game, because too many times coaches have seen wins and losses due to poor special teams play.
Jack Warren trying to move Tyler Thompson. He had to get that ball off quick. And a screen pass out to the far side. Incomplete, intended for Payson Frazier, but you could see Warren just wildly trying to move Thompson over there to snap that thing quick down to single digits.
It seems so far that North Montgomery not all the way focused coming out of halftime. You allow the kickoff to hit the ground in the field of play, and then just a lack of urgency on the first offensive one. Let's see if they can get it together.
Northmont scored at the end of the second quarter to get this margin to 21-6. Option Warren pitching to Glasson a little bit behind him, able to get it as Christie ushers him out of bounds up to the 16. And they'll be 3rd down and short.
Jack Warren doing a nice job, who I unintentionally was calling Tyler Warren in that first half, but he was just had a monster effort in the way that he was handling the game at the quarterback position. Just does a nice job of making a reaction from the defender before he pitches it to Glasson, picking up a nice hefty gain on that 2nd down play.
3rd and 5 for the Charging Chargers. They need their own 21. Warren climbs the pocket, trying to do it himself, able to get through 2 tackles, loses his mouthpiece as Venus and one of his teammates hammers him down. That was Reed, but a 1st down on a tough run for Jack Warren.
Jack Warren just doing it all. Once again, what we saw a little bit in that first quarter, not seeing what he likes down the field with his receivers, takes matters into his own hands, makes a couple of guys miss, and then falls and trucks forward for the 1st down. A nice job getting everything on the same page to at least get that first down conversion coming out of halftime.
7-yard scamper for the North Montgomery quarterback, throws and a little bit behind his man. In coverage was was Maverick Krause. They wanted Thompson. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10.
This feels like a big drive if you're North Montgomery. You can feel Western Boone sort of chomping at the bit to get a stop, get their offense the ball back, and take advantage of what they weren't able to at the end of the first half. If you're North Montgomery, you can manufacture a drive to end in points. You feel good with this game in the 3rd quarter.
Missed snap by Warren. He'll be touched down in the backfield by Carson Nicely, the outside linebacker, coming up on the blitz. And a missed snap there for North Montgomery puts him way back behind the sticks.
Nicely a top tackler on this team, ranking in the top 4, doing a nice job as a sophomore. Luckily for North Montgomery, Warren's able to jump on that football. Could have been a backbreaker play if he's not able to come up with that possession.
10-yard loss back to the 13. It's 3rd down and 20. Little screen pass, and Glass had to go up high to bat it down. There was Mallory coming up to make the early tackle, and it'll be 4th down and long after a nice little promising drive fizzles out here for North Montgomery.
The Charging Chargers had exactly what they wanted. but Glasson doing a nice job understanding the ball was out of his reach. Let's not make a bad play even worse, and just bats it down, as you already eloquently stated, and lives to see another down and forces the punt.
Third punt of the night upcoming here for Clayton Brown. He's done a really nice job punting the ball tonight. He's going to line up about a yard or two deep in his own end zone. Averaged over 40 yards per boot last week, and he bombs another one deep here back to the Western Boone side. And Christie, that might have hit him. He dives away. Jack Warren, the quarterback. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks there on punt coverage. He is pleading again, but this time his wishes are not answered.
That's now 2 times we've seen a special teams play that could potentially go to review. Maybe that's a good way for the IHSAA to incorporate some of that review only on special teams, because when it impacts who retains or gets possession of the football, I feel like that is something that is super important and you want to get right.
It was eerily close, but it didn't look exactly like it might have, the old ball changing directions or the way the ball spins sort of thing, but it was too close for comfort if you're Western Boone. And like Jared mentioned, that's the second time tonight on a punt that's happened here for the Stars. Well, you go back to old reliable to start the second half, Jacob Smith. He had 100 yards in the first half last week, another effective first half here, and all he does is gets almost another 10 yards on another tote here.
It's part of their identity, and I dare you to stop it. That's the type of mentality that the Stars have when it comes to running the football, and they've done it a lot tonight, and I know that's going to be the catalyst as they go throughout the rest of the season.
We mentioned Smith almost doubling his season total in rushing with last week's 330 on the ground against Greencastle. It was just his third 100-yard rushing game of the year. Trying to go back-to-back in that category here. Gets through the first wave of tackles, and now Smith is out in the open field looking at who might try to tackle him. He almost had it jarred loose by Peebles, who came in from the weak side, but Smith finally taken down at the Charger 32.
I may even add in my own iteration of Jacob Smith looking around, potentially seeing who's going to tackle him, but I thought he was looking who he was going to stiff arm in the open field. As you see the big fella get out in the open, picking him up and putting him down.
That's a 30-yard romp for Jacob Smith, who played 3 minutes here in the third quarter. Nicely. Actually make this Sheets on the pitch. It cuts it up, 25-20, trying to beat the last man. It steps through the arm tackle, and in from 32 yards out, Dylan Sheets on the rushing touchdown. That's his first touchdown on the ground this year. But is there a flag behind the play? The touchdown is good. Oh, it looks like we have an injured North Montgomery player. That's Caden Cohey that was slow to get back up to his feet.
Those wings in this offense have such a pivotal role to play, something that Coach Pelly says they're so important because they play a factor in the run game and in the pass game, and when they're able to take advantage and get plus positive plays that are explosive, that just makes you that much more lethal.
Fortner to add the extra point out of the hold of Westerfeld. First point after attempt tonight for Ben Fortner. Did not play in the first half, but the lefty former soccer player boots her through. And we'll get another look at the touchdown run here on the pitch from Sheets.
It's actually a play that they've done a lot of play-action pass off of, faking that sweep toss play and looking down the field. That time they said, why not just give it to Mr. Sheets and let him do some work, and that's exactly what he did.
Second 3-play scoring drive of the night for Western Boone. The one in the first half was that 64-yard touchdown pass to Bo Sawyer. Here it's set up by the 30-yard run by Jacob Smith, and then one play later, it's Sheets on the pitch from 32 yards out for the touchdown. Gets first rushing touchdown of the year for the senior wingback Dylan Sheets. He had his first 3 receiving touchdowns a week ago.
Someone that Coach Pelly says is asked to do a lot. Plays on offense, plays on defense. We've seen him on special teams. That's the responsibility that you inherit when you're on these football teams, and in particular, the Western Boone Stars, who are doing a nice job tonight, scoring their 4th touchdown of the game.
3 plays, 70 yards. Takes a minute and 15 seconds off of the third quarter clock. Booted deep. Glasson has to go between his hands, and it rolls out of bounds at the 2. Things go from bad to worse here in the special teams game for North Montgomery. They've got 1st and 98 to go, down 28-6.
If we just take this second half alone and say, what is the reason that Western Boone was able to go score on their first offensive possession and the stagnant type of offense that we've seen from North Montgomery, we could directly point to special teams. That's now 2 drives back-to-back that are starting under the 10-yard line. That's not a recipe for success if you're Coach Thompson's group.
A big sack on that first drive for the Chargers doomed that first drive of the third, and here they come out. Again, less than 3 minutes expired here in the third quarter. North Montgomery 0-4 on the year, still looking for that first win. Western Boone trying to make it 3 in a row. 1st and 10 for the 2 from Jack Warren. Takes himself up the middle, trying to get away from that goal line. So he took a big hit charging up the middle. David Puckett, one of the last ones to get off the pile for Western Boone. No gain, will be 2nd and 10.
It's a scary play when you're on the -1 yard line, and then you add extra layers into it. You're in the shotgun, and you also run the ball. It's just a far vantage point when you're in the shotgun to the line of scrimmage, just giving too much level of comfort for the defense to attack.
Warren will drop back to throw. Pressure comes, throws a go route up the near side and leads his man too much. Again, Clayton Brown's been his favorite target. He was streaking up that near sideline, just led him by about 5 or 10 yards.
The only thing that I see from Jack Warren is he's a thrower. He's just not consistently a passer, and that just has to do with the touch that he has on the football. Not every football has to be a 30, 40, 50-yard bomb. And I think sometimes he tries to take the whole kitchen sink instead of placing some touch on the football to allow his receivers to run underneath it.
Tip your cap, too, I think, to the Western Boone front there. They got a lot of guys up there quick, made him rush that throw a little bit, even though he chucked it a country mile, chucked it pretty far.
That's exactly right.
Here's Warren, pressure in his face, tries to thread the needle in there again, incomplete to Payson Frazier. It'll be 4th down and 10 from the 2, as North Montgomery just could not get away from their own goal line on that series.
And you're forced to pass in this position of the field, because if you revert to the run game and you're backed up like this, you, one, allow the clock to continue to run, and then you're just further and further away from actually operating efficiently to go score points when you're this far back. So you feel that North Montgomery is playing with 2 left hands right now.
Clayton Brown, who's done a lot of running here, has got his heels on that back goal line, and you see him look down and wisely move forward. Good snap, pressure comes, and he gets another beauty of a punt away. Taken by Christie, trying to get to the edge. He's still well in North Montgomery territory. Runs in the arms of Lincoln Hyde, and a good job for Christie there on the return. Sets up Western Boone inside the red zone, just shy of the 15.
Exactly why it's so important when you are the offense that are in the shadow of your own goal line and end zone to get that first down, because if you don't, flipping the field becomes that much more difficult. They were unable to do that. A nice return there by Malachi Christie, putting his offense in position to go for touchdown number 5.
1st and 10 from the 17-yard line here of North Montgomery. Best starting position of the night for the Stars. That drive for North Montgomery took less than a minute off the clock. Smith, the deep man, in the flexbone offense for the Stars, takes the handoff from Kopriva, and he'll get a couple of yards. Colin Zachary with another stop.
I feel that was the best tackle I've seen from this defense all night against Jacob Smith, and that's Zachary just jumping on his back and escorting him down to the ground, taking matters into his own hands.
So a short gain to the 14. We've seen Smith break a couple of big runs here tonight. McLean and Sheets out wide here for the Western Boone offense. Their second drive of the quarter. Smith to the right side. Hunter Powell, the first one to hit him, but takes a couple more guys than one to take down Smith. He takes it down to the 10, a gain of 4.
This is a Western Boone offense that actually changed things up a little bit, changed the format of summer workouts, changed who they open the season with, go against Tri-West and Jack Sorgi, who is a heck of a football player at the quarterback position, and that's also with the understanding that they're still a young football team. So trying to see some different things, facing adversity early, I think it's just foreshadowing and thinking by Coach Pelly to prepare his team as they go into the back part and try and go for another state championship.
Xander Venus, the fullback, clearing the way for Smith, who plows his way forward down to the 5. That'll be good enough for the first down on 3rd down and 3. Goal to go. They'll put the ball at the 6.
Lincoln High doing a nice job laying the boom on Jacob Smith. Xander Venus was leading up and through as a lead blocker, but he didn't get to Hyde, and Hyde made a big hit on Jacob Smith.
Venus stays as the fullback here, and goal to go from the 6. Backup quarterback Quinn Westerfeld under center. Gives off to Venus. The big man rumbles in. 6 foot, 250-pound D tackle for 6.
I love the feel that I got from everyone on North Montgomery's defense, like looking around like, hey, someone should tackle that guy, forgetting that they were actually the ones supposed to be getting him down. But once that big guy gets his feet going in the proper direction, hard to bring him down.
Pretty fleet of foot there for the big fella.
And even still, when it was a wide open lane to the touchdown, he was looking for contact still.
Almost ran out of his way a couple steps to the right to make sure he found somebody in orange. Extra point added by Ben Fortner, and that increases the lead for the folks here at Western Boone, up 35-6 as they score for the second time here in this third quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you by Tipmont with superfast fiber internet, now available in Montgomery County. Get started today at join.wintech.com. The offensive efficiency the last 2 weeks from Western Boone is nothing short of spectacular. They scored on 11 of 12 drives last week. They've scored on everything but 2 or 3 drives here tonight. Their offense is just a runaway train right now.
It's amazing that in the world of sports, the amount of lessons you learn in losses. Start the season with an opponent I already mentioned in Tri-West, and then Lebanon. You start the season 0-2. It feels a lot what they went through in 2020 when they won that state championship, the third of a back-to-back-to-back, and finding some adversity and a come-to-Jesus meeting that they had to really get that thing turned around. It was week 2 that happened. So once again, coming and fast-forwarding to this year, and after week 2, you start to roll offensively. Crawfordsville, Greencastle last week, and now tonight, North Montgomery. Everyone in white and blue doing a nice job at the right moments.
Stars are 5 of 8 in scoring here tonight. Clayton Brown weaving his way through Star defenders. As Brown a little bit slow to get back up. He has been taking a beating tonight, whether it's been on offense or on defense. And we'll get another look at the rumbling touchdown from one Xander Venus.
Watch at the end right here, just looking for the contact. He's already in the end zone. No one touched him, but still looking to be physical. He's just physical by nature.
The spectacle one getting his first rushing touchdown of the year. Last week he had a forced fumble, a blocked punt, and a blocked field goal. A big 2 weeks for old number 50. Warren dancing in the back, throws it up, and almost making the great catch was Glasson. That was Carson Nicely, the sophomore, with a whole bunch of pressure.
That's something that if you're defensive coordinators, you just shake your head and say, man, we had him right where we wanted, and Jack Warren almost got out of danger and feeding it to Dakota Glasson down the field and turned a negative play almost into an explosive one.
Great strength there from the senior Warren to get out of the clutches of Carson Nicely. It's at the bottom of the screen as Western Boone rushes 4. Glasson wanting the edge. Stretched out. Atkins there to take him down right near the line of scrimmage. Levi Atkins, another one of these talented sophomores defensively for Western Boone.
A returner from a season ago, got a chance to play with his brother, Luke. He's not here anymore, and now Levi steps into a leadership role, doing a nice job for the Stars.
No gain. It'll be 3rd down and 10. In another slow start to the half. North Montgomery had that in the first half. They got down 21-0, trying to not avoid more trouble here as we're past the halfway point of the third. Empty set for Jack Warren as the play a little bit late coming in from the North Montgomery sideline at the bottom of your screen. Western Boone rushes 4. Warren runs throughout, could not get away from the grasp of Maddox Amich, the sophomore, with his first sack of the year. And another tough play for the North Montgomery offense on 3rd down, brings up 4th and long.
One thing I'm impressed with this Western Boone defense is they've actually changed personnel and defensive coordinator. Usually an odd front, 3-down linemen and then multiple linebackers, switched it to a 4-down front where it's a little bit more balanced up front with 4 defensive linemen. Andrew Rodriguez stepped in as defensive coordinator, was at North Vermilion a season ago. That's a tough change for anyone at any level of football, but in particular these high school kids. But they've done a nice job buying into Coach Rodriguez's system and then adjusting accordingly, and you can see that why it's reflected in the scoreboard tonight.
Lucky Young taps down that punt from Clayton Brown. And to add on to that Andrew Rodriguez story, he came and was just teaching at Western Boone, said, yeah, I'll volunteer with the team, and then some coaching changes. The old defensive coordinator left, and then Andrew Rodriguez finds himself now calling plays for the Stars defense.
And when you have a system for 12, 13 years, now in year 13 for Coach Pelly being head coach, that is a sizable change when you go from what is normal to now what is new, and I think everyone has handled that with such grace.
Third possession of the third quarter for Western Boone, trying to go 3 for 3 out of the locker room. Jacob Smith, the star last week, and the Stars running back, barrels his way forward for another gain of 9.
We've already referenced the game he had last week against Greencastle, goals for 330 yards, but it was on 26 carries, and it was also the 5 touchdowns, 10 for the season after that game. So half of his touchdown work volume came in one game. It shows you how special that young man is.
Gain of 9 to the 48, 2nd down and 1 for Western Boone. Kopriva over the right side. The quarterback calls his own number and gets the first down in North Montgomery territory.
It's what we've seen from Kopriva tonight. Anytime Jacob Smith gets a few carries, just to keep the defense honest, he calls his own number. Credit to the play calling for the Stars, but also Kopriva just being a tough quarterback that's not afraid to stick his nose in there as a runner.
That's what Justin Pelly told us. One of the areas that Kopriva's improved in is the running game, and he's been really, really effective tonight, particularly in those short yardage situations. Fresh set of downs for the Stars offense from the North Montgomery 45. Faking the pitch, Kopriva going for it all. Down the middle's got a man, and in tight coverage. Made it tough for McLean to come in with that one. Another pass broken up there by Peebles.
Right in McLean's chest, right on the lettering and the numbers on the front of his jersey. So we talk about what Kopriva can do as a runner, but let's not forget that he's been dicing them up with his arm today as well, finding receivers down the field, whether they've caught it or not. He's done a nice job delivering it on time and on target.
That stops the clock with 3:33 remaining in the third. Smith the lone setback behind Kopriva. Gets the handoff, and he's out in the open space. Stiff arm, and now it's a foot race with Kopriva. Hyde trying to track him down. Smith goes up, and he and Hyde meet at the summit as Hyde knocks down Smith, but not before the Stars running back gets a big carry. It's goal to go.
Once again, just gets down. The nice pull by the offensive line, kicking out. And Jacob Smith going right inside, and you can see the ball handling, making sure the ball is secured, just getting himself ready to potentially go deliver a blow, but Lincoln Hyde took it to him, but not before he got down into scoring position.
That's a 39-yard romp for Jacob Smith with less than 3 to go here in the third as Smith flexing his muscles here tonight. Jack Mallory, the new running back in the backfield for the Stars. He takes the handoff. He corkscrews his way in for 6.
Touchdown by Jack Mallory.
Love that Jack Mallory can benefit off of the hard work done by the aforementioned Jacob Smith. But that's what you do. When you're a change-up running back and you're an off-tackle guy, as described by your head coach, you're now going to come in, be shifty, make guys miss, but sometimes just put your head down, go north and south from the 6-yard line and get your first touchdown of the night.
First touchdown of the year as well for the young sophomore. Fortner to add the PAT.
Partner's kick is good.
And it is up and good. And he and Threckeld have been perfect on the point after touchdowns tonight with 2:11 remaining in the third. It is all Western Boone as they're on top 42-6. Five-play drive, 61 yards. For 2 minutes and 35 seconds for the Western Boone offense. And for an offense, Jared, that is so run-heavy, you wouldn't expect a team to score so quick with the run. They had a long drive earlier in the first half, but they've been pretty quick strike here. Again, a couple of scoring drives, either two of them at 3 plays, but a lot of them in 3 minutes or less.
It helps when you get the ball in your running back's hands and those runs feel like passes down the field, because a couple broken tackles and making guys miss, and next thing you know, that's a 20 to 25-yard gain. How many times have you said that tonight? And those running backs, in particular, Jacob Smith, going for massive gains.
So with the point margin at 36 points, this will go to a running clock situation here as we are in the second half, with the kickoff upcoming here from Ben Fortner. Western Boone trying to pick up back-to-back wins against North Montgomery in their 10th out of their last 12 or 10th out of the last 12 matchups. Looked like Clayton Brown trying to find his way forward. Knew he was going to take a pop, and he takes that to the 21-yard line, and that's where North Montgomery will start.
I just get the sense that when North Montgomery came out for the second half, they left everything they went into the locker room with in the locker room coming out for this second half. And with it being the first drive, number 3 for the quarter, but of this second half, and this is the best starting field position that they have, I really do think that special teams really took their spirit to start this third quarter.
Yeah, tough when you start your first 2 drives out of the locker room at the 11 and then at the 2, and both on self-inflicted wounds both times.
That's exactly right. Simply not fielding the football and then just not taking advantage of open run lanes, and next thing you know, you find yourself in backed-up position.
Warren trying to get a spark up the middle. Has got it. Glasson leading the way. Nice lead block from the slot back, and Warren able to move his way forward out to the 30. That's a gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
This is what they did so well when they actually were able to go down in 2 consecutive possessions in that second quarter. They started with explosive runs. Not the prettiest run, but it gets you 9 yards. Have to be a positive on this offensive possession.
Looks like they only gave him credit to the 29-yard line, so make it a 2nd down and 2. I thought he got the ball out to the 30-yard line.
Same here.
Faking the handoff, screen pass to Clayton Brown. Will lose his footing as he gets caught up with Jack Mallory along with Kane Reed. And nice catch there by Brown. Just couldn't find the footing as he's trying to plant in the turf and go.
He's had plenty of interactions with the grass here tonight, being down a couple of times, taking some hard falls. Someone that is used to being explosive, but not much success in that department tonight.
Loss of 1 will make it 3rd down and 3 at the North Montgomery 28. We'll step aside briefly for an injury timeout here on the ISC Sports Network.
Power. We all want it. We all need it. It not only lights our homes, but it drives our businesses. It strengthens our communities. It empowers us to make our own decisions. Today, we're giving power to more than 22,000 members. We're a homegrown, locally based cooperative that does something the big electric companies won't: give safe, affordable, and reliable power to rural communities. We're Tipmont REMC, and our members have the power.
Back here at North Montgomery High School, injury timeout after the screen pass by the Chargers offense. Get a look at Jack Warren, the quarterback for North Montgomery, 6-foot senior. Threw for 212 yards last week, but the Western Boone defense did a good job of bottling him up here tonight.
Also 2 games passing over 100 yards. That game against Cascade, and also the first one of the season against Twin Lakes. So we can find receivers down the field, but have to give credit to this secondary and this defense of Western Boone.
3rd down and 3 from their own 28. Late stages of the 3rd, North Montgomery will run this thing all the way out as we're in a running clock situation in the second half. And that'll take us to the 4th. On top after 3, Western Boone 42-6 over North Montgomery. We're back with the 4th quarter next. You're watching Indiana High School football on the ISC Sports Network.
WinTech, powered by Tipmont, is building the future in Battleground. We offer 3 easy and affordable packages with superior reliability, customer service, and no data caps. Get a free Roku when you sign up today at join.wintech.com.
And that'll volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Jumped over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Oh my goodness, give it to him. Rolls through the
1 quarter of play left here from North Montgomery High School. It's been all Western Boone tonight as they lead 42-6, almost a carbon copy of what we saw in the matchup last year at Webo. 1-score game at halftime. Second half was all stars. Second half, all stars here again tonight.
But if you're supporting North Montgomery tonight, the score is a bit deceiving because you found some momentum at the end of the first half and then essentially gave it all away to start that third quarter, and that's when the game got out of hand. So a football game for the first half and then not so much in the second.
Empty set for Jack Warren on 3rd down and 3. And with a margin at 36 points, we are at a running clock situation. Once they snap it, Warren takes that snap. Tried to work it over that right side, was unsuccessful, and now it'll be 4th down and still about 3. He might have gotten 1 more yard, so we'll call it 4th down and 2, and this is, you got to go for it.
Not much option you have here when you're trying to fight and scratch and claw for every little bit. 4th down, even backed up in your own territory. It's been a common denominator in this second half. Why not just go for it?
And how about this? Warren, I know he's done this throughout the night, but he's the starting quarterback and he's also the long snapper on punts. Back to Clayton Brown. He's been effective tonight punting. Might have been partially blocked on the way there. Malachi Christie changing field, wanting the edge. Peebles holding on to that jersey, then spins him down for a 2-point takedown. Holding on to that jersey like a buoy in the ocean. And Western Boone will start 1st and 10 from their own 40.
That's that slingshot tackle that so many defenses talk about. It looks a lot more violent than it really is. Just when you think about the impact of it, a ball carrier hitting the ground with as much force as he is. But a nice job by the special teams unit of North Montgomery getting Stark down to the ground. That's Malachi Christie, I'm sorry, getting him down to the ground on that punt return.
See the Western Boone student section dubbed the Galaxy, appropriate enough when your nickname is the Stars. They've been enjoying themselves here tonight. And we get to see the 3rd-string quarterback coming in here for the Stars. That's number 9, the freshman Ty Reiner under center. With a lot of new faces out there for the Stars. Handoff on 1st and 10. This one is Kane Jackson on the carry. 5th carry of the year for the freshman.
I go back to Western Boone being a young team, 6 or 7 new starters on defense, playing a lot of sophomores. It reminds me of the 2020 team that they had, where almost 50% of their lineup were underclassmen, and even in one case they had a freshman, and that was a team that went on to win another state championship in that season. So a recipe that has worked for Coach Pelly and his crew, and working with young guys having to see a lot more action in the earlier parts of their career.
Again, Ty Reiner, the 3rd-string quarterback, the freshman, puts it in the belly of Caton Jackson, who again puts it on the ground. You mentioned that 2020 team. That was the final of 3 straight state championships in a row for Western Boone. Ironic enough, the Stars have not won a sectional since that state title win in 2020.
When you factor in the success rate and you have to go up a class, you get stuck in that sectional for a little bit, and that's what they did for 3 consecutive seasons. Wondering the same thing last year. You have so much success winning 3 straight state championships and then hitting a lull. Well, it makes sense when you move up a class. Those are different beasts that you find in the next class above you.
Here's 3rd down and 2. Western Boone well on the way to their 3rd straight victory. Handoff to Jackson. They'll get about a half yard. It's Noah Baird, the other one of the freshman backs in there for the Stars. No gains, so it'll be 4th down and 3.
Tackle by Heidi.
As Heidi on the tackle, Reiner, the freshman quarterback, 9 and white, getting his first action tonight. It'll be 4th down and a pair here for the Western Boone offense. Again, running clock situation with the score margin at 35 or more. The back is Baird. Pitch out. Trying to find the corner. Little dance and a stretch, and the ball gets ripped free and right into the hands. Mason Mills ripped it, held on to it as he took it away from Roland Shue, and there's a takeaway for the Charger defense.
That was Payson Frazier right there. You saw him rip it out, and it happened to end up in the possession of Mason Mills. That's an outstanding job. Even when the game is decided based off of the score and it being the quarter, you say, no, I'm going to continue to play hard. A nice job by Frazier, the sophomore, coming up with a forced turnover.
We mentioned how they were that was Western Boone who was so proficient, but what do you like out there still playing hard here late for Western Boone, trying to build on here, so it looks like they're going to drop their 5th game in a row?
Well, it just comes down to, if you want to get better, you can't get better without playing with consistent effort. And that's all that you want to see if you're North Montgomery and Coach Josh Thompson. Yes, the losses are stacking up in as many weeks as it's been, but you want to walk away from each game saying, hey, we got better in this department, because sometimes those are things that people, fans, family members don't always see, but as a team, you can continue to hone the focus on those things, because eventually that tide does turn in your favor.
Incomplete pass attempted to Lucky Young, the 6-foot junior wideout. Pitch from Warren out to Glasson, able to beat the first man, cuts it up, and now he's in the open field, tried to tightrope that sideline, got tripped up out of bounds, but Dakota Glasson, kind of like lightning in the bottle whenever he gets that ball in his hands.
That's a handful of times now that they've gone to this option play, and if that first line of defense can't bring you down with a tackle, there are some yards to be had out there, and that's exactly what we saw from Glasson.
Takes it to the 30, a gain of 21 yards on the ground here for the junior slot back. Screen intended for Glasson, led him a little bit. It's got blockers in front, splits him, and then just gets tripped up right before he's able to hit that extra gear. Tackle and play by Ethan Barrow. But another first down here for the Chargers late.
This is a guy in Dakota Glasson whose best game came at the start of the season, 7 carries, 53 rushing yards, and a touchdown. I think he had 53 rushing yards. By the end of the third quarter, he's had that type of game, so a nice job by him putting his best foot forward in tonight's matchup.
After the 10-yard pass, Warren takes himself, dances to the outside. That'll be a first down and more. As he takes it down inside the 10-yard line, so a good job here late from the North Montgomery offense.
Just watch the toughness of Jack Warren. You see him here get pirouetted down to the ground. You thought maybe a face mask penalty would come out again, but not so fast. But still, Warren showing the toughness even in this fourth quarter, still standing strong, taking hits, but popping right back up.
Alex Velasquez on the tackle, 12-yard keeper for Warren. Goes to the other side this time, looking for the end zone, and he'll be about a yard short on goal to go from the 8.
If you're on a varsity field, you are a varsity player. So although these are backups, the expectation is that you conduct yourself, if you're Western Boone, as varsity players. And right now they've got their back against the wall while the charging Chargers are trying to charge for another touchdown.
Second down and goal from the 1. Glasson on the RPO. Puts the ball out towards the goal line. Did he cross it? The ball came free. Western Boone saying that's a fumble for the Stars. And they'll say that Glasson was down before the ball came free, so back to the 1-yard line again.
I thought he maybe have gotten an arm reach over. Looked like a touchdown to me. No body part that is considered a down was on the ground, so no touchdown, but they get in on the second attempt.
Warren keeps it himself, and he's in from a yard away. That was Jacob Anderson on the last tackle for Western Boone. But touchdown here for the Chargers as Warren able to find the end zone.
Dakota Glasson got robbed on the play before. Jack Warren said, I can do something that you were unable to do the play before, and gets it in for the second score of the game for his charging Chargers.
Big push up front of the North Montgomery offensive line. As the clock winds here in the fourth, I'd like to remind you tonight's game brought to you by Tipmont WingTech. They're a proud supporter of local high school athletics. Learn more about our super fast fiber at join.wintech.com. If you've enjoyed tonight's coverage, we invite you to share that message with the fine folks at Tipmont WingTech. 2-point conversion. Warren chased off the spot, lobs to the end zone, and it's caught by Glasson for 2.
That connection has been effective all night in the drives that they've been able to muster up and go score points, those two have been at the top of the list. Nice job by those getting in connection once again for a 2-point conversion.
Next up for North Montgomery, they remain at home next week. They'll take on Greencastle a week from now. Western Boone is at home to Frankfort. Then they go on the road for 2 more, Southmont, North Putnam, and then they wrap up the year in what could be a really fun game in Week 9 between themselves and Cascade at home on October 17th.
Very easily could be the best 2 teams in the conference as we go toward the end of this season, which, as we've already stated, this thing is moving fast.
Yeah.
So you blink too quickly and we'll already be there. So looking forward to see what this team does the rest of the way, and also looking ahead to that matchup against Cascade.
At Cascade, I had the pleasure of seeing Cascade in Week 2. Last update, we heard they were up big at half against Frankfort. So they're up even. They've increased the lead here against the Hot Dogs. But look at these 2 rushing attacks for Western Boone and Cascade. Whew. If you're a running back and you like running the ball, that's the game for you coming up in the middle of October.
That's going to be a good defensive game, too, because if your team runs the ball really well,
yep,
usually you're good at defending the run, as I talked about with defensive secondaries going against anemic passing games. So a lot of defense and running the ball is going to be on the docket that game.
Lane Bull takes the short kick forward. Flag is thrown on the play after Bull was tackled out of bounds into his own sideline. Return to the 48. So we'll step aside for this quick message from Tipmont.
Since 1939, Tipmont has powered the homes and the businesses that bring our communities to life. Since 2019, Wintech has connected you to the fast, reliable internet you deserve. Together, Tipmont Wintech provides local and superior service you know and trust. You help us deliver as a cooperative. We help you thrive as a community. And together, we make each other better when you join me for the ride.
Hand off to Kane Jackson. And then Jackson gets really shoved out of bounds. Everybody throwing their flag here tonight as we dip below 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. And some frustration starting to spill over here between the 2 conference foes.
As you can imagine, if you're a guy that doesn't get much varsity action and then you get in and you have a chance to explode with some excitement, sometimes it boils over and you do a little bit too much. So you see Western Boone sideline pretty fired up in consecutive plays. But once again, love to see the passion if you're Coach Justin Pelly from your group and everyone involved.
So a late hit out of bounds as they're marching off the extra 15 yards. The carry there for Kane Jackson. He got it all the way to the North Montgomery 40. There's the official call, the personal foul.
On the Chargers, 15-yard penalty.
And they'll move the ball to the 25-yard line. So a big-time penalty here late for North Montgomery. With 50 seconds remaining here in this one is a couple more snaps here for the freshman Ty Reiner at the quarterback spot here for Western Boone as the Stars go to the victory formation. They will have to take one knee here, with the difference between the play clock and the game clock, and that'll officially put a stamp on their 3rd straight victory of the year as they will win tonight by a final of 42-14 to move to 3-2 on the year.
Greatest formation in football is victory formation. Any team that plays wants to always end the game in that type of contraptment because that means you took full control. There's nothing your opponent can do at that point. Kudos to Coach Pelly and his group for coming in here at North Montgomery's home field and taking one.
Tonight's game has been brought to you by Tipmont Wintech. Tipmont Fiber Internet Service has the reliable speeds you need to stream all the sports, news, shows, and movies you want. Visit join.wintech.com to learn more. Our player of the game, no real question here. He was the all-star last week for Western Boone, and the star running back Jacob Smith, another fantastic night here tonight, toting the ball.
It's no secret he goes from second fiddle a year ago to Mason Amick to first fiddle this year, being the workhorse. And that's all he did was gallop around the entire field and took matters into his own hands time and time again. One thing that comes to mind when Coach Pelly talks about believing in 4 things that produce a winning football team, he talks about administrative support, he talks about culture, he talks about innovative coaches, but then there's one, the last one, and that's football players. Jacob Smith is a football player, and they're going to ride his coattail for the entirety of this season.
Had 330 yards on the ground last week. Had a couple rushes tonight of over 30 yards. Should get his fourth 100-yard rushing game of the season. You see his second rushing touchdown right there with a little hop over the defender as well. And he set up that Venus touchdown late in the second half as well. He was a joy to watch. The 5'10", 250-pound senior got out and galloping there. There's another one of those 30-yard runs tonight here for the senior running back, Jacob Smith.
Just no matchup for him once he broke free from the defensive line. Even here, when it felt like Lincoln Hyde got the best of him, it didn't matter because he had already scurried to another massive gain coming out of the backfield. So outstanding job by Jacob Smith and everyone for Western Boone tonight.
Tough loss for North Montgomery. They fall to 0-5 on the year. Western Boone improves to 3-2. So for our director, Sean Walker, graphics by Adam Clendenning, and our camera operator tonight was Justin Eckenbarger. For our great analyst, Jared Thomas, my name is Rick Johnston. Final score from North Montgomery. Western Boone wins 42-14. They pick up their third straight win and move to 3-2. This has been a presentation of Indiana High School football on the ISC Sports Network. Until we talk to you again, we say good night from North Montgomery High School.
Since 1939, Tipmont has powered the homes and the businesses that bring our communities to life. Since 2019, WinTech has connected you to the fast, reliable internet you deserve. Together, Tipmont WinTech provides local and superior service you know and trust. You help us deliver as a cooperative. We help you thrive as a community. And together, we make each other